No, Patrick, that does not help us. There we go. All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back
I was gonna do
to
it.
the McDoncast, the funnest podcast in town.
The only podcast around.
No,
It's
Did you hear
gaming
there's,
time.
There's some more podcasts on town now.
What's the other podcast in town?
Shoot.
Does someone else record a podcast?
You don't know what they
in this
are.
area?
All right,
I got a
there's
few other podcasts that moved into town.
According to Patrick, there is a new podcast in town. He doesn't know
I
what it's
doubt
called,
it.
but according to him, it exists. Anyway,
Based on the fact that we created the podcast, I don't see how anyone would even emulate us.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of impossible to replicate our format of just sitting in a room and talking to each other and
In
recording
an
it.
80-degree room in
Not 80
Texas.
degrees. Bro, the REI where I work is 87 degrees on a daily basis.
Well,
This
that's
guy's got to turn that thermostat
yeah. You
down.
guys gotta fix that.
Well, our ACs, they were just blowing hot air, so instead we turned them off.
Oh,
and
they
now
just
they're-
have the fan on?
No, now they're just not on.
So you just turned your AC system off?
Yes,
That might
because it
explain
wasn't
why
working.
it's boiling in your
Because the
REI.
heater was on.
Yeah, it seems like a very bad idea.
Yeah, they're waiting for a part.
Anyway,
So while they were waiting for the part, they just had the heater on?
No. The computer was broken, so it was just blowing hot
okay,
air.
we have way too much news to spend talking about REI's air
Okay,
conditioner.
so
All
heads
of
up.
Comic-Con happened. It's been like 3 years since we had a Comic-Con where they actually announced things. And at this Comic-Con, they announced everything. So this whole episode is going to be just stuff announced at Comic-Con. We will be doing the regular weekly news in a shorter other epised.
No. Okay.
Never mind. But this is going to be, we have a lot to talk about.
So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna so that this episode is not a horrendous 4 hours. We're gonna split this up. So for about an hour and a half, we're just gonna talk about all of the Marvel stuff because that was the most by far. And then in the other hour and a half, we're gonna cover everything else that was from D&D and DC and all of them. So everything else that would have been normal weekly news is just going to be pushed back to next week. So if you're here for the Halloween Ends trailer or the Don't Worry Darling trailer 2 or whatever that crap
None of you guys are
else
here
The
for
good
happened.
thing is that nobody cares about those things.
Yeah, so
You're just making them not want to come next week.
we saw Nope, but we're not going to be able to talk about it. So that's all next
Watch
week.
Patrick's review of Nope if you want a review of Nope. Alrighty.
So for now, we're just going to scroll straight to the bottom of this list and we're going to start off. Do you want to start off with the main stuff or the animation stuff?
Let's start off with the animation stuff, and we'll get to the big stuff as we
Okay,
when we
so Marvel Studios Animation had a panel on Friday. Just for animated, there was I think 4 things they talked about, 4 or 5. It's here, right there. There you go.
There it is.
So the first thing to start it all off,
I am Groot.
they talked about the I Am Groot shorts.
5 shorts.
There's gonna be 5.
Technically live action, but they're really
So
CGI.
it's all cartoons, but it's not like a 2D animation style. It looks like it's in the
no. I Am
movies.
Groot is it's just regular Marvel Universe looking movie thing.
Yeah, so it looks like the movies, but it's all computers. There's no
Yeah.
real people in it. So
It's like the Lion King.
yes, just like the Lion King, except for about a little tree man who farts out leaves and a raccoon.
Good.
So there's going to be 5 shorts to start with on August 10th. Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper will both be back as Rocket and Groot. In case you forgot, Vin Diesel does voice Groot still.
Even though he is going to be Baby Groot in this, so
They just synthesized his
they
voice
just
higher.
digital his voice.
I don't
to
know
sound
why
weird.
they
don't just
have him do
recast
it.
him. Yeah. Especially since that's definitely super expensive for 5 shorts on Disney Plus.
I don't know why they didn't just have him record a bunch of it in different tones for the first movie.
Yeah.
And then just never have him record anything else. Just have
How
him,
do you know that's
They-
not
yeah,
what
they
they're
very well
doing?
might have done that.
Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, it's 5 shorts on August 10th, and then there's going to be another 5 shorts sometime later. Their stuff is going to be Groot takes a bath, but it'll be wacky.
It's going to be real boring, and I don't care. What's the next thing?
No, it doesn't matter. Okay. And then after that, they talked about what was probably
Okay.
the weirdest thing.
This one I am the most confused about. So this show was announced.
Which show?
Like Spider-Man freshman year was announced, I think 2 years ago. as a animated.
No, it was last year.
Or last year. It was
like
announced a long time ago.
It was like last September.
As a prequel series featuring the MCU Spider-Man in
his freshman year
of high school, as he's becoming Spider-Man.
Which for our non-Americans is the first year of there's 4 years of high school. It's the first one.
Yeah, they don't know what that is. Anyway, so he's going to be freshman year of high school. So like around 14, 13, around that age.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't mean college.
You are dumb, Max.
So
This is a prequel. That's why I said prequel series 5 seconds ago.
Origin story.
Yes, but no.
That's what we thought.
So it's not going to cover his origin. Instead, he's going to be wearing a variety of different costumes and fighting notable, like very big Spider-Man villains. Notably,
There was a bunch of images from this if you want to pull them up.
yeah.
Is this the same as the Tom Holland Spider-Man, or is this a
Maybe
different Spider-Man?
they have been
They
very
keep
vague
saying
about
it
it.
is.
Okay, but if it is, wouldn't it be really confusing if you like didn't really know who all those people were in the
That's
new
the
one?
problem. Hi, dog.
All right.
Podcast dog.
Dog.
Okay, there's the Twitter.
Yes, you eat stuff you find on the floor.
Okay,
There we go.
that's the villains.
Yeah. So this is the most confusing part of this.
Yeah, so they announced a bunch of stuff. The first thing I guess we'll talk about is they announced that the villains for the series are going to include the likes of Dr. Octopus, the Rhino, Scorpion, which makes zero sense.
Well, okay. Scorpion's in prison in Spider-Man Homecoming. So he could have fought him before and put him in prison.
He gets caught in that movie.
When?
You know the scene on the ferry? He's just one of the goons he beats up. Because you can see, he has the giant scorpion tattoo on his neck.
Oh.
And then that's how he knows Adrian Toomes is because he was working for him earlier in the movie.
I did not know that.
So he's going to fight Scorpion.
So it's even more confusing.
Yes. Speed Demon, Tarantula, Chameleon, Lonnie Lincoln, which I believe is Tombstone, the Wizard, and Pyromaniac will just be some of them.
Okay, but also, why in that movie does everyone act like that's the first time they've ever seen Spider-Man?
See, that's the big question.
Okay. And there's another picture that I don't have pulled up. But he meets.
You can pull it up.
I don't.
Just have to
Are
find
we
it.
sure they're wanting this to be the Tom Holland Spider-Man?
That's what we've been told.
You're going to have to scroll back to like 4 days ago.
They're gonna
Yeah.
have to axe that.
So he meets Green Goblin, Dr. Osborn, presumably MCU Dr. Osborn?
Yes.
Which
So-
means why doesn't he recognize his name in No Way Home?
And why is there no
even if
Oscorp?
Even if he doesn't know who he is, like just by face, he should know the name. Because
Yes.
even if they look different, then he should at least know his name. But that he clearly doesn't.
And
So
also, Norman Osborn, the Willem Dafoe version in No Way Home, says that he was looking and there is no Oscorp in this universe.
yeah.
Yet we see in these pictures that
Oscorp
Norman Osborn's working for a big corporation that he presumably owns.
What year in high school was Peter Parker in Homecoming?
He was
Junior.
sophomore year.
No, he was a junior.
He was a junior in.
No, remember?
Hang on.
Because what's the second season
So
of this show called?
I know that.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up, but I'm pretty sure he's in his sophomore year in Homecoming.
Oh boy.
So, because in Far From Home, it's the end of his junior year, and then No, Max, what are you doing?
Gosh, so far down.
No Way Home is his senior year. So it's very, very confusing. It makes very little sense. And then we got even more information. They announced that Harry Osborn, Amadeus Cho, and Nico Manuro are going to be like his friend group in this show. Ned and MJ and Flash and all the characters we see in the movies are probably not in this.
Well, it looks like he's been friends with Ned for some time.
Yes, but in this there is no Ned.
Ned does not exist. Okay, here's the picture of him meeting
Norman Osborn. Look reminiscent of something.
Yeah, it doesn't look reminiscent of Willem Dafoe.
Well, the scene.
Yeah, it's the one where he meets
It's the
Iron
same
Man.
scene where he meets Iron Man, but now it's
So
Norman
this has
Osborn
got to be
instead.
some like alternate universe.
And they've said he's going to act as his mentor figure in this as well.
yeah.
According to them, it is not in an alternate universe.
No, they keep saying it's in the MCU.
When it clearly is not.
I don't know what Max is doing.
He's trying to lock Cena out.
What if in the MCU now, it's canon that there are multiple universes?
Well, it is.
Existing within one.
But that's not what a universe is, Patrick. What does uni mean?
So multiverse. Let's say this exists in the multiverse somewhere, but it's still technically in the MCU.
Well,
Patrick, that's what everything is.
Yeah, but this isn't on the same Earth that the Tom Holland one is.
No, but it is.
No, it's not.
According to them, it is.
Well, I say it's not.
Well, that doesn't matter what you say.
Well, it's obviously isn't.
Kevin Feige says it is.
Okay.
Well, Kevin Feige was on crack.
Here's why they're doing this. Here's why they're doing this.
So people watch the show is why they're doing it.
Well, one, they just needed to make another Spider-Man cartoon because the last one ended and they have to constantly have one for toy reasons.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Two, Kevin Feige has pretty much established that literally every single thing somehow ties into the MCU at this point, regardless of what it is. Mm-hmm. Even if it's like a web comic, unfortunately.
Did they say what if happened in the MCU?
Yes.
Okay, so
there you
but
go.
that,
Well, not
that
in the main
whole show
continuity.
is supposed to be multiverse.
Yeah.
They keep saying that this is the MCU sacred timeline.
well, they're wrong.
Now,
They're not incorrect about that.
the reason that this is like so obviously like they like just ditched the whole origin thing and it's basically a fully established Spider-Man is that this show would be really boring if he was in his hoodie suit the entire time and fought like no big villains.
No.
You could just make that the first episode.
No, you can't sell as many toys if he's only wearing the hoodie
If he's
suit
only
the
wearing
whole
one
time.
suit. That's also important. But again, we know in Civil War, which is his first appearance in the main MCU, that he's been fighting crime for about 6 months up to that point. Mm-hmm. He is only wearing the hoodie suit, and like he's just been like stopping car wrecks and like beating up like bike thieves.
But by chance, he's also met another extraordinarily rich guy with a big company to help him out.
Who's made him a suit identical to the one he will get later.
Yep.
But will somehow he'll lose.
He gets a new suit that goes back to his old suit.
But then gets a new suit that's identical to the old suit, even though it's made by a different guy.
They could do the thing where Norman is teaching him or whatever. Spider-Man finds out Norman's evil, beats him up, ditches all the Norman stuff, goes back to the hoodie suit. That's where he stops the car
That's
wreck.
stupid.
Yes, but that's what they will probably do.
They're gonna
If they're going to make
This
this
is for
MCU,
kids,
that's
right?
what they will do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then
But
are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, probably.
if it is MCU,
If it's
canon,
good.
I'll watch it.
I don't care that it. I mean, I don't care if it isn't connected. It's just weird that they keep pushing that it is when it obviously is.
Yeah, and if they don't want it to be connected, just don't make it connected.
That's fine. It
make
can
its
just
own
be a
thing.
Spider-Man. I like the art style a lot.
Yeah, it looks a heck of a lot better than the one they were doing before.
Yeah.
Good lord, did you see what the most recent Spider-Man cartoon looked like?
Like poop.
What was it called?
It was just called Spider-Man 2017.
Okay, keep talking.
So, I know the creators have said they're a big fan of Spectacular Spider-Man, which is the best Spider-Man cartoon show. So, I don't care if it's unrelated, as long as it's good. It's just weird that they keep pushing that it is when it obviously
Okay,
isn't.
here's just a random clip of the show. I just want to show how bad the animation
I'm gonna
quality
make sure
is.
this is muted.
There.
There we go.
That's Venom, by the way.
So what we're looking at is a horribly washed out, generic looking, just like dull colors, CG cars, the worst character designs.
Walking cycles that don't make sense in the space that they're in. It's very bad. I don't like it. It's not good. Anyway, this looks interesting. I want to hear more about it because right now it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, well, Sam,
Also, he's going to meet Doctor Strange in this.
Yeah, so Doctor Strange is going to show up, who, if you look at the official MCU timeline,
Makes no sense.
his official origin movie happens after Civil War, which means that Spider-Man's origin is before his. So if this is a prequel, he was not Doctor Strange at this point.
Unless he's like time traveling for some reason.
So I don't know.
Which he can't do anymore.
Which he can't do anymore. And why would he?
Yep.
Unless it's Doctor Strange from before he lost the thing. So it's a past version of Doctor Strange time traveling slightly further into the past for some reason.
Okay, and that's not the only guest appearance. Daredevil is going to show up in a black and red suit, voiced by Charlie Cox, who played him in the Netflix show and in No Way Home.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
That's also the only.
Too much for Patrick.
That's also the only voice casting news we know.
that we have. Yeah, we know it's not going to be Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yeah, obviously. Because
I wish they cast me as Spider-Man.
Okay. Also, it's already been renewed for a season 2
Called Sophomore Year.
Called Sophomore Year, obviously, and
The first season is set to release in 2024.
yeah, at some point.
Now on to What If Season 2, or what I like to call the episodes they didn't finish in time for Season 1.
Well, one of them is that. The other
3
ones,
of them are that.
the other ones were planned to be in season 2.
Alrighty, the second season will feature a Hela story, Thor's mom, Odin versus the Mandarin. Makes no sense. Odin would just immediately kill him. Captain Carter meeting the Winter Soldier. Stop with Captain Carter. No one cares. Stop it. No one cares.
I liked her show.
No, you don't. That's a lie.
I did like it.
Tony on Sakaar with Valkyrie and Hulk, which is one of the episodes that was planned for season 1, but they didn't finish.
That was the episode that got pushed back.
Yondu giving Peter to Ego, which isn't multiverse. Oh wait, okay, yeah. So that's another timeline where he actually did his job. All right, and
that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So we're
far.
not getting the Gamora episode that they also didn't finish.
That's the Sakaar one.
Oh, that's the same episode.
Yeah, it's the same episode.
Weird. Okay. Anyway.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 confirmed episodes.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 9. So there's 4 we don't know about.
A full episode titled "What If Captain Carter Fought the Hydra Stomper" was shown, in which Captain Carter fought a brainwashed Hydra Stomper with Steve still inside.
So that's the big robot.
And they showed like the whole episode.
They screened the whole thing.
Oh, at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So there's 2. So we know there's going to be 2.
No.
Captain Carter
There's
episodes.
1. The Winter Soldier in her universe is the Hydra
Steve
Stomper.
Rogers?
Yeah, it's the Hydra Stomper robot.
Okay, that's kind of cool, actually.
Because Bucky doesn't.
Exist.
Kidnapped in.
Well, he exists. He just doesn't do
timeline.
anything. Yeah.
They're really pushing this Captain Carter. They really want you to get excited about Captain Carter.
Yeah.
A character who got disemboweled.
Literally sliced in half as her only on-screen appearance in the movies. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's an interesting concept, but she's not
really.
She's not. No, like the idea that someone else became Captain America instead of her, instead of Steve Rogers, is inherently like, okay, well, what would happen? But she is just not like, she just wins every fight, like every time.
She's just the same.
And she's literally she is like morally basically the same as Steve.
Yeah.
Like the reason why Steve was like the best super soldier is because he like had a good heart, and he was like the only man who could take on the power and not be
more
corrupted.
interesting if she turned evil.
But yeah, she has the same like
She's
pure
just-
heart.
yeah.
So like it's not really that different. Whereas like if they did like I don't know, just like another soldier, I don't know, make up a guy, and he like
If they made
if they did
Bucky the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
or
like
Bucky Captain America or something like that.
Well, I mean, he would also probably be fine.
But
it would have to be a non-hero
He
character.
showed to not be like as
As
morally
morally,
upright
yeah.
as Steve, and that would have been more interesting.
But he had a cool looking arm.
Basically,
Later
just
on.
do Soldier Boy from The Boys, but like in this.
My point.
That's what would have been more interesting.
My what I'm trying to say is, so every What If season, like Captain Carter's like the face of the show, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they're basically doing.
She's like the team leader.
But
of
she
the
also has like
Multiverse
a
Avengers.
comic book, an ongoing one. She was in Multiverse of Madness. The creators of this were like, the Captain Carter in Multiverse of Madness wasn't ours because Captain Carter would have beat up Wanda, and I'm like,
no, but okay.
It's the same. They're literally, there's no differences between them.
I think the iconography for Captain Carter is really strong. In the same way that the iconography,
I think they like that the shield is the British flag.
that's what I'm saying. Like the iconography for Captain America is so strong that in our real world, he has become a symbol for America. The same way like Superman has, where like Captain Carter has similarly strong iconography. Be it there's not as much history behind it, but there is iconography there that's very easy and simple for most people to understand. You can look at Captain Carter, you're like, oh, that's Captain America but British. Everyone gets the concept. And I feel like that simplicity of that character is sort of a bridge for the confusing, convoluted mess that is the multiverse for people to like get into it.
Yeah, I guess so. My other problem is just that like the first What If episode that she was in was pretty much just Captain America the First Avenger, but like abridged. Mm-hmm. Like they really made almost zero effort to change that story at all. There's like the ending is slightly different, but everything else is pretty much the same. And my concern is that that's what's going to be for all of these. They're just basically going to make abridged cartoon versions of Captain America's 1, 2, and 3, and just change like tiny little details that barely affect the story at all.
Yeah.
That sounds easy to do, though.
That does make it easier for them. But in terms of these other premises, apparently the Hela story one is basically just going to be like a... Is that
just MCU canon? Like,
they're saying it's pretty much just like her origin. Yeah,
so why not just... Like what?
But I think it's going to be slightly different. And you know how the overarching villain of last season was Super Mega Ultron? Mm-hmm. I think they're going to have like a variant of Hela be the main one for this.
Like it'd be the evil guy.
But instead of an episode where he's just conquering everybody without any like... So
like what if Hela became resistance? Super evil?
Yeah, what if that, but like also... give her like a heartfelt episode so you really understand the character before you make her a big villain, which I think is a smarter idea.
It might be a what if Hela became king of Asgard.
Yeah, well, what if Hela never got banished to the
what if she became king of Asgard? Because if she doesn't get banished, she'll probably just kill Odin. Yeah, which means Thor and Loki probably won't exist. And since she wanted to conquer all the realms, she probably just would.
And then they can all team up and fight her.
And she knows the Infinity Gauntlet exists, so she could also go after the Infinity Stones.
That's true.
There's a lot of interesting concepts you could do with that.
And then Odin versus the Mandarin, that doesn't sound like a fair fight at all. Odin's like a god. Yeah, okay.
The Mandarin is
a guy with some magic rings.
A dude with what is essentially like really good frisbees. Yeah. Like frisbees he can control with his mind. Yeah, the Mandarin.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the...
No, Max, they're going to fight the actor
from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, they're like on the same level of base.
Well, compared to Odin, yeah. Odin is the all-father of the gods. Yeah. Like, okay, if actor Mandarin is here, and real Mandarin is here, Odin's like way over there, so like it still isn't a fair fight.
Real Mandarin has some skills.
He's vaguely immortal, and he has really good frisbees.
He's vaguely immortal, he can do kung fu, and he has the big alien rings.
And Odin is literally God. So, still not a fair fight.
Maybe he fights Coma.
Odin just disappears you from
Odin
existence.
never really does anything very...
But that's because at the point in the story that we meet him, he's already super old.
Well, he'll probably be old in this.
But the Mandarin had been alive since who knows how long.
But I think he'll be old in this. He'll be old Odin still.
So it'll be...
Elderly Odin versus a middle-aged Winwu.
I
think what they're selling. I think what the selling point will be is like Asgard versus the Ten Rings, and like
we'll have a big fight. There. Yeah. All right.
And then Tony on Sakaar, we already knew about that episode.
Yeah, that episode. There are toys of that episode.
It's good. Yeah, it's gonna be Thor Ragnarok, but Iron Man's in a Hulkbuster suit, and then Yondu giving Peter to Ego, probably just
that
an
could
episode.
be interesting. Conceptually, it would be.
I don't know. I feel like it'll just be an episode where...
I mean, Ego kills the universe.
He'll just kill the universe.
Yeah.
But season 2 will release in early 2023, so that'll be the first of these animated projects we see is What If Season 2. Yeah. And then the show's already been picked up for Season 3.
Which makes sense because they can essentially just make this show forever.
this
show's pretty cheap for them to make, relatively speaking. All right, Marvel Zombies. So...
This is the What If spinoff.
So there's the zombie episode of What If.
Yes.
This is a whole series in that world.
Very cool.
So this is a spin-off of a spin-off of a thing that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know, just to clarify for you guys at home. Alrighty, this series will be rated TVMA, which, okay, that's kind of cool.
So it'll be Marvel Studios' first adult animated show.
Yeah, this series will release in 2024.
Yes.
The heroes of the show will be Jimmy Woo, FBI agent at large.
Like the guy with just a gun.
The quirky FBI agent.
Ray Park.
Kate Bishop, Yelena Belova, Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, Red Guardian, Death Dealer, and Katie. Who's Katie?
That's Shang-Chi's friend.
So they're screwed.
Oh, wait, she survived?
Apparently.
I like how Iron Man died off screen, but Shang-Chi's derpy girlfriend survived.
How did Jenny Wu survive and not like what's Scarlet Witch?
This list is missing. Miss Marvel's also going to be on
what's Natalie Portman's friend's name in the movies?
She is? Okay.
What?
What's Natalie Portman's friend's name in the movies?
Darcy?
Yeah,
Darcy, okay. I'm getting Darcy and Katie mixed up.
Shang-Chi and Miss
Marvel I remember.
So, essentially, here's what happened. The Marvel Zombies episode came out like right as Phase 4 was starting, right? Mm-hmm. So they pretty much killed like every character off in that episode.
Say for Spider-Man.
Spider-Man survived, and Scott Lang's head.
Yeah,
they are it.
That's it.
No, but which means that technically the only heroes left for them to do anything with are the Phase 4 characters who weren't like created yet when the episode was made.
And also keep in mind, at the end of the episode, Thanos shows up with all the Infinity Stones and gets zombied. So how on earth he doesn't just win?
I think they're just gonna retcon
Jimmy
that.
Woo survive?
So this is
an
alternate universe of a spin-off of a thing that never happened.
Yes. Well, I think
keep up.
Okay, and then they also said that the show is going to feature zombie versions of Ghost, Abomination, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Okoye, and Captain America, and also Icarus from Eternals,
who should be
who's a
robot.
robot, but he's a zombie also. So he's a zombie robot.
Even though Vision, who is half robot, half human, was immune to the zombie virus.
Yes. But also,
the whole robot was not immune.
He's the only Eternal to be confirmed showing up in the show, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Maybe other ones ran away.
Maybe I guess.
Maybe they were recalled by Arishem since there's no sentient life left on Earth.
That might be it. Except for him, he just got stuck in like a
because he got zombie.
Well, I guess he's just the dumbest.
I guess it's canon in that movie that they just make 1 million copies of each of them, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Except for they don't, because they just erase the same 5.
Oh, right, that's what they do. But he does have
that movie's bad.
It's a bad movie.
So they have guy with gun, girl with bow, girl with gun.
Basically, if you're a regular human, you survived.
If you're a Phase 4 character who wasn't created when they made the first episode, you were alive.
Although, never mind.
But they also didn't. They also didn't say who the voice cast for this show either. But I'm guessing
it'll be the returning cast.
I'm guessing Randall Park's gonna come back. Simu Liu probably will. Iman Vellani definitely will. Maybe David Harbour and maybe Awkwafina.
It'll depend. We'll see.
Look at Awkwafina.
Because I don't know.
But I doubt Florence.
I don't think
Pugh
that's going to affect the
Haley
quality of the show that much, to be honest. Alrighty, X-Men 97.
This was the last thing they talked about.
So this is a continuation of the X-Men animated series from the late 90s.
Yes, early to mid 90s.
Yeah. So this is so we got a first look at the original team as well as new additions, including Sunspot, Cable, Nightcrawler, Morph, and Roberto da Costa.
Nightcrawler was in the original show. I don't know why they're pretending like he wasn't.
Nightcrawler,
maybe it's different Nightcrawler.
No, it's the same guy. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nightcrawler, the Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yes. Magneto.
Yes, there's going to be an X-Men who's taking pictures of car accidents that he
Magneto
caused.
has a new design and will be the leader of the X-Men. Isn't he evil in the show?
You can look this up. So they're giving him, when he takes over the X-Men in the comics in like the 80s or 90s, he's going to look like that. He's got long flowing hair. He's got a big M on his chest. There he is. He's on the first picture. That's not it, Sam. There you go. That's his design.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
He's got a big blue cape. He's got a big white M on his chest.
Really
and his hair is long and loose, baby.
Why does it look like... Okay,
He's
so
gonna
Here,
dominate.
look, you see that one down in the
This?
corner? The one down in the corner where I'm pointing?
This?
All the way over. See how...
Oh,
yeah,
this?
Yeah, that's the comic where that
looks
costume's
just
from.
as stupid. Why
That's what
is
it's
it
from.
looks like
that?
it looks
So
like someone
he
went
takes
into,
over...
Like, it looks like someone went into like a app and just like inverted the colors or something, and then just copy and paste them back onto the show.
So apparently, at the end of the '90s cartoon,
he's good.
which got canceled, so they didn't finish the
The
arc
story,
they were
yeah.
planning. Professor Xavier goes into space, or like mentally transports himself into space, or physically does it. He's gone in space somewhere with his alien girlfriend, and so while he's away, Magneto is leading the X-Men, and that's where we'll start off with this show. The Hellfire Club and Bolivar Trask will be the series' primary villains.
Not the Hellfire Club from Stranger Things.
No.
The Hellfire Club that they stole their name from. The real Hellfire Club.
Yes. They've updated all the X-Men costume designs to be a little bit more modern. If you want to find
Except
a picture.
Magneto's, which they made way less modern.
I know Sam hates that one.
It looks so bad.
Yeah, no, there's the X-Men costumes if you want to just go straight there. Yeah.
They look the same.
So yeah, Jean Grey's has changed a lot more than everyone else.
Yeah.
Pretty much the main thing they've done is get rid of everyone's bulky shoulder pads, which everyone had in the original show.
That's fine.
But it's pretty much just on the classic versions of the costumes.
Look literally exactly the same.
Jubilee is still on the team despite being completely useless.
No, she has the power to make pretty sparkles.
Oh, so
and that is literally her only power. I'm not joking.
They updated her power.
Nope.
When they do her in the MCU, they'll make her be able to shoot.
She was in
She was
Phoenix
in Apocalypse
Force or whatever.
She was in Apocalypse for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what she does in that movie when
Sparkles
she shows up?
and dies?
She never uses her powers in the actual theatrical cut, but there's a deleted scene where she does, and she uses her firework powers to start an arcade machine, and that's all she uses her powers for in the
She's
entire
the
movie.
most powerful member.
Yes. Yeah.
In the comics, though, she did turn into a vampire and get real powers.
She's like the main character for a while in the X-Men comics.
Yeah, because she turned into a vampire.
And I think she's also a main character in the cartoon show as well.
No, she has like a super convoluted backstory where like her mom was a vampire or something.
Her powers are terrible, though.
Yeah, her powers suck.
Wait,
she's
you're
boring.
talking about vampires like Morbius?
Yes. He fights Morbius, I'm pretty sure, at one point.
No way.
Anyway.
Can't wait till they do that in the MCU.
Anyway, that's...
So,
the
the series
show's
will
also been
premiere
renewed for
in
season
fall
two.
of 2023.
So...
And has been renewed for season 2.
What if season 2 will be first?
Has it come out? Like
The original
version?
show
No,
from the
not
90s?
Not the original show. The
Max,
new
when
one.
is 2023?
Max, do you know what year it is?
When is 2023?
No, I'm saying, so it's been renewed for season 2 before the show was...
Yes, all of these shows have pretty much been renewed for new seasons, even though it's not out
Max, Marvel pretty much makes sequels to everything regardless of how well it
yet.
performs.
Except Eternals.
Except for Eternals. That one, that
one
never happened.
That one did not happen.
No, that movie never came out. But so what if season
People love that movie.
Do they?
Anyways,
So what if season 2 will be first in the spring? It'll then be X-Men 97 in the fall, and then in 2024 at nondescript times, Spider-Man freshman year and Marvel Zombies.
alrighty, and is that it for the Marvel
That's
animation?
all for Marvel Studios animation. So if you want to scroll down,
I'm gonna
to the main-
delete all this stuff so when we do the rest, we don't get confused.
That's a good plan.
You can start
Wait,
talking
that's
about the
just
next thing.
animation?
Yes.
Do you think that was everything they talked about at the con, Max?
No, I
Gosh
just
dang it. Why are you
realized
being
that we
stupid?
only talked-
And Comic-Con was a very short event where they
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about many things at
Marvel
all.
showed up and they went, "I am Groot," and everyone went,
Okay.
"Got it." Okay. So now we're gonna move on to the main Marvel Studios panel, which happened on Saturday night. It was the big end to the whole event, pretty much.
It was the big kahuna.
It was, yeah, they pretty much just blew everyone else out of the water as they do normally, because really,
Well,
who has the ability to make the amount of content they do at this point?
DC had Batman versus Superman that one year, and everyone was like, DC won this time.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, Marvel has won every single time, and also Batman versus Superman ended up being bad.
Which ruined all of their
Did
plans.
they mention what's going on with the Flash movie?
No.
Nope.
Shh, what Flash movie?
We'll talk about DC later. We'll talk about DC later, but they
Ezra
pretty much
who?
talked about nothing.
I don't know anyone named Ezra. Why would you mention someone named Ezra?
So, okay, Marvel Studios. So, Kevin Feige came out. He announced that phases 4, 5, and 6 are officially titled the Multiverse Saga. Each phase will roll out. Obviously, phase 4 started last year, and it'll end in 2025, making this 3 phases and the whole saga a 4-year endeavor. For comparison, phases 1, 2, and 3 were 11 years of time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're condensing 11 years of content into 4 years. So just keep that in mind as we go through. Phase 4 is pretty much over. There's 2 things left: She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney Plus, which will be on August 17th.
And
That'll
it's
be
basically
Why does
filler.
it say D+?
Disney Plus.
Easier to write.
What do you think that means, Patrick?
Her grade at law school.
So
Oh, I forgot I brought these.
Patrick just for our audio listeners, Patrick, who was almost completely laying down, has his microphone just laying on his chest, just realized he had fruit snacks in his pocket the entire time and is now eating them into the microphone.
Why don't you just get McDonald's?
I had Chick-fil-A.
Whatever.
They're
You know,
kind of
Patrick's gonna do Patrick. No.
I'm eating them.
So She-Hulk Attorney at Law will start on August 17th. That's going to be 9 episodes. And then Black Panther Wakanda Forever will be the final thing
So that gets
on November 11th.
And everything else
What's
gets
the,
like 6.
What's the runtime for? Do we know what the runtime for Black Panther is yet?
No.
It should be. They should change it to Black Panther Wakanda for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
That's how long it's going to be.
A lot of people
So,
put it on
okay.
I'm hilarious. Anyways.
So yeah, She-Hulk received a new trailer, which you can pull that up. That actually had some important things in
there
it.
was a new trailer?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, Daredevil's in it.
Kevin Feige described it as Marvel's first 30-minute TV comedy, which means every episode's probably going to be 22 minutes of actual
Are they in
content.
the jungle now?
Well, you gotta have at least 8 to 9 minutes of
And
Max, move that McDonald's back.
through the trailer, he officially confirmed that Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox, who is now the busiest actor in Marvel.
Okay, wait, hold up. So she does shift between the two.
Yes.
In the comics, she didn't do that. She was just
Yeah, she
permanently
did.
stuck as a green woman.
Well, yeah.
she was
kinda.
permanently stuck. So that's
Well, it's less expensive if she's not stuck like that.
And she also does not look very good like that. So
actually they both look pretty bad in this.
No, yeah, the CGI is still terrible, and they're quickly running out of time to finish
Okay,
it.
it looks all right here.
It does look better than when we first saw
I
it,
don't
but it's
understand
not
why
still
they don't
not
just make
good.
her buff. Like in real
Yeah,
life.
she still just looks like
Yeah. Okay.
Like okay,
Like, why
the
did they-
Hulk looks like if Mark Ruffalo ate nothing but steroids for like a decade, and she looks like if she like put on some tall boots and painted herself
See,
green.
my
She looks
question-
like if she fell into a pool
Maybe
of
she's
green
just
paint and
really
then
strong.
got back up, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
My main problem is that like She-Hulk like looks like her face is different than the actress's. Like the Hulk. Pause it for a sec. The Hulk's face just looks like Mark Ruffalo,
on a big body.
like on a big green guy. Like
Well,
they
but that-
changed like
well-
her hair and like her face structure.
but-
It's really
hold
weird.
on. But
because they had to make it look like the comics.
before he did Smart Hulk and like combine himself,
Mm-hmm.
he did look a lot different as Hulk.
Well, that
So I
was
guess-
before they have the mocap process they do now. That's the
yeah,
reason
that's because the technology changed, not because they
Yeah.
canonically changed his appearance.
But my question is, okay, here's what they should have done. Just had Tatiana Maslany just get really, really buff.
Yeah, I don't understand why they.
And then whenever she's not Hulk, just give her like really baggy clothes so that they can hide it better.
Yeah.
And then just like make her bigger in post and then just like make her green instead of like making a CGI character
Or
that's like just her but larger.
just do what they did with the
So
Hulk.
the whole character is CGI.
Which mocap, but it's like a CGI
Or
character.
just do what they did with the Hulk and just
her green.
make her a big green monster lady.
Or
Like
they could have
she
just
already
done more.
was.
Yeah, they could have just done the more buff version. Of
Yeah, I don't
She-Hulk.
understand why they don't just do what they do with the Hulk for She-Hulk. It's the
They didn't
same
They
thing.
didn't even make her like buff like at all when she's Hulk.
No,
No,
she's
she's
just
got
a big
muscle.
woman.
She barely like.
She
looked.
just no. She goes from having no muscles to I go to the gym 3 times a week. Like she's
Because
like okay. Look at the Hulk's body. Look at his body. That's what the Hulk stuff did to him.
Yeah.
And she's just like basically a normal woman who works out.
yeah,
You
so
shouldn't get as much of the stuff.
I guess not. They also don't explain what her origin is in this yet.
We'll find out.
This is important. She does a fourth wall break here. So if you want to resume it just for a second. Oh, you just went back.
Punch ground.
Now we have to wait. But the gist of the first part of the trailer is that Hulk is trying to train her, but she's already really good at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she does a fourth wall break.
Oh, it's a mockumentary thing?
No.
Well, no, but it is though.
Mm-mm.
Are they not going to be regularly talking to the camera?
No, only her does.
Okay, yes, but like someone's going to be talking to the camera, right?
Yeah, she's doing a Deadpool. She knows she's in a TV show.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I
I
guess
guess they got to
her
make.
and Deadpool
I guess
will
they
both
got to
break
make the
fourth
show
wall.
interesting somehow.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You
she
barely
is
make
just
it
lawyer
She-Hulk.
woman.
No, but I think they're going to be doing because we know this is supposed to be more like a sitcom. I think it'll be sort of like Parks and Rec, where like she'll just occasionally talk to the camera.
I guess so.
Even though none of the characters in Parks and Rec know they're in a show, they still
Well, they know they're in a documentary. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no documentary pretense for Parks and Rec. That's only The Office.
Kinda.
They never bring it up. It's
They never bring it up.
mentioned.
They
a
don't bring it
single
up
time.
like they do in the
What's
office.
My
up
point
with
is
the interviews.
that it's just a narrative device.
Yeah,
I think they're
obviously.
going to be doing the same thing. It's not. She doesn't know she's in a fictional world, but narratively, she'll be talking to us, the audience.
It'll
just
be like
'cause
High School, the musical
It won't be like
show.
that.
Yeah, no, it'll be exactly.
No,
like
the real
High
reason
School.
is because they're going to do a lot of wacky stuff in this show.
Is it like we're
And they
just
need a
seeing it
character
from
to
her
sarcastically look at the camera and go, "Ain't this wacky, kids?"
Okay, who's this guy that's in the box?
That's Abomination.
Oh, who's this lady?
I forget.
Sweetie.
She's an abomination.
They're basically, this show's going to have just like a bunch of like D-level villains and stuff show up.
I like how she transforms and. Supposed to
Oh,
be
she's
like
on
cool,
TikTok.
But she just like turns green.
Oh, and
Oh,
Wong
Wong's
is
in
here.
this.
Oh, Wong's there too.
They said there's going to be a lot of cameos, so I'm guessing we're going to get... Oh, and the Wrecking Crew is going to show up also. I think they're in this for a second.
I'm assuming it's going to be a different Wrecking Crew since none of the members are...
If they didn't
No,
have
they're
like,
going to... I think it's sort of... Because you know how the Wrecking Crew, they just have like magic crowbars and weird stuff like that? I think here they're just going to have like Chitauri technology.
They just make her really tall.
She's just a very tall woman.
Oh. What's this one rated? Do we know?
TV-14.
PG-13.
I'm guessing. But yeah, there's just a lot of wacky characters showing up, which I think this show's probably just going to be basically...
Oh, she does a flip them off, so it's not...
No, she did a thumbs
up. Max, they don't censor thumbs ups in
Max,
trailers.
You're so dumb.
Why would she got put?
Yeah, Max. Yeah.
Why would she thumbs him up to that?
I didn't see the censor part.
But you saw him push her off the cliff.
I just shot.
And then the most important part of the trailer is this
It's not
part.
a kid's show.
You just
It's
thought,
like
oh,
PG-13.
thanks for pushing
She
me off
jumped on a
cliff.
dude clearly because they're about to bang. I don't think this is a kid's show.
Okay, sorry
Max,
for
you gotta
making one
say about it.
minor mistake.
Oh yeah. So here we see
Our
Daredevil's
boy.
torso.
He does a flip, and from the flip you can determine that his costume is red and yellow in this. So he's going to show up in a red and yellow suit.
Actually, I think it's only red and yellow in that flip. I don't know if they've finished the effects on this part. See, there's no yellow on
Yeah,
it.
I guess maybe the yellow. You know, Marvel does like doing totally useless CGI that could really be done in real life very easily.
If they just took 5 seconds
If they
to do
took
it.
5 seconds.
Guys, we forgot to paint this part
You
of
know
the
what?
suit. You're
You
gonna
know what I
have to
bet
do
they
it.
did? I bet they just have the old Daredevil suit, and then they're just gonna CG paint yellow over it so that they don't
Yeah.
have to make a new one.
But they can sell new action figures.
So that a poor VFX artist can miss his child's birth, so that he can paint the Daredevil suit yellow, so that the costume designer doesn't have to do any work.
Hey, bud, it's me, Kevin
All right,
Feige.
so
You're not gonna see
that's
your kids
coming
this
out
week.
August 17th. Oh, that's coming out soon. That's coming out in like 2 weeks.
That's the next show.
So yeah, that's gonna be the next Marvel show.
And then
I'll watch it. It looks quirky. It'll probably be fine.
I'm more interested now that Daredevil's in it, but I doubt he's really going to do anything important.
No, he's one of them cameos.
He's going to show up for 5
100
seconds.
Cameos in every Marvel.
I should
There
have
were no
brought more than
cameos
one
in Miss
pouch of
Marvel.
fruit snacks.
0 cameos in that show.
Yeah.
What? No, Captain Marvel at the very end.
That doesn't count.
It does count.
And we got the damage control guy from No Way Home. He was in it.
I did not know that I was even the same guy. I just thought that was a different guy.
No, it's the same guy.
Anyway, the next thing coming up. So this is chronologically speaking in Phase 4. So that She-Hulk's the next thing coming out after that.
Yeah, Black Panther was the last thing they talked about, but it's the
Yeah,
next
we
thing.
have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So I guess I'll pull up the
There
trailer
was
for
we
that.
got our first trailer for this.
Did it look good?
Actually, yeah.
Yes, visually it looks amazing.
It looks actually really good.
So the other we got. I don't know if we talked about this on the last episode.
Beyond all my doubts, they managed to make Namor seem vaguely threatening.
So yeah,
Namor, for context, is Marvel's knockoff of Aquaman, who's already terrible.
It's the
who
Deep.
has wings on his feet.
It's the Deep.
And yeah, he's no, except for not at all.
Well, it's
The
just like
CG
a
in this
bad
one looks
knockoff
good.
of Aquaman.
so this trailer is very slow and very.
Notice how practical everything is. Notice they're wearing costumes.
Oh yeah, notice that
and
right.
standing in a place.
Wait, they put on clothes for this movie?
If this was up to Kevin Feige, that dress would be CGI.
Yes.
Animator.
Unironically, yes.
Thanks, Ryan Coogler, for liking real things.
She's wearing a real costume and holding a. That
blade of that spear is at least CGI. That room
Why?
is CGI.
Why though?
Because you got to get special permission to use sharp objects on film.
But yeah, the feeling of this trailer is very like
She's
sad
got a
and
booby baby
contemplative.
In there.
Oh my
a booby
gosh.
baby,
A
Patrick.
booby baby in there.
So here we see
Namor's
Namor's
birth?
parents. Yeah, this is Namor's birth going on.
Okay.
There's his umbilical
Is that
cord.
Namor?
Okay, so they're Atlanteans, right?
They changed the name of them, but yes.
Why are they like 15 feet into the water? The sun's like right
I don't
there.
know.
They're like on the shore.
Isn't Namor half human?
I believe so.
That might be why. It has something to do with that.
Yeah, let me just
His mom looks.
he's got the winged feet.
Oh my gosh, he does!
He got wings.
Yes!
baby.
That's what I was hoping for.
Oh, that's so stupid.
That's amazing. I'm so
Why
glad.
does an
Yes.
underwater man need wings on his feet?
Swim fast.
That's called dumb,
Comic book
stupid
things.
40s comic book nonsense, and I love it. There's a big whale.
We got a whale. See, there's guys riding on it, presumably because they're going to battle.
So,
they got spears and things.
So if you want to pause it for a second. So yeah, stuff from this trailer. Namor is officially the villain. It's going to focus on a war between Wakanda and whatever they renamed
I thought
Atlantis.
Namor was a good guy.
He is later.
He's an anti-hero, sorta.
No, he becomes a good guy later.
He fights good guys.
He fights.
He jumps back and forth.
He fights ecosystem.
He was one of the first big Marvel Comics characters.
Yeah.
And
Do you think this is going to be the best Marvel movie of the year?
It actually very well could be.
I mean,
Might
what's it
be,
up
yeah.
against?
It's up against
Thor: Love and
Doctor
Thunder.
Strange and Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder is its only competition, and I have a pretty. Given the trailer,
What about Doctor Strange?
I have a pretty strong feeling.
Given that this doesn't look horribly unfinished, I'm gonna give it to this movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Taika Waititi
But,
was in charge of the last one, and he
so-
wanted everything to be CGI.
Yeah. Okay. So they released an official synopsis. If you want me to read that real quick.
Yeah, you can read that while we.
So
do
the
this.
Wakandans must fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. As they strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with the help of War Dog Nakia and Everett Ross, who is that guy.
The bad guy.
No, he's they're like secret agent guy who's just kind of like there in the last one.
White guy?
Yeah, white guy.
Oh yeah, white guy.
What's it? Watson from Sherlock.
Yeah, Watson from Sherlock.
And
Why was he even there? I don't remember how he got there. Was he a SHIELD agent?
He gets
got
hurt.
blown up and then
Yeah, he gets hurt, and then they take him back to
Yeah.
Wakanda for
Was he like T'Challa's friend though?
No.
kinda?
Like he
They
knew
just, like, knew each
someone.
other.
They
No,
were-
They knew each other, but
He was in Civil War, and so they just
Okay.
carried him over. But that's not important. And forge a new path forward for the Kingdom of Wakanda. So it's gonna focus on our surviving characters. So Shuri and
Did they say how T'Challa dies?
No, they didn't. And from this, I doubt they're going to.
I think they'll just say that he's passed away, or
Yeah.
they'll just literally use how he acts.
Because I feel like it would be sort of disrespectful if they were like, yeah, he died in a big explosion.
No, I think they'll just do like, oh, he passed away of
Something.
If they don't use how the actor actually died, I think they just won't mention it.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna like.
But here we can see Namor has like flooded the throne room and set it on
palace
fire, which is
room.
pretty cool.
Namor's my new favorite character ever.
That
Okay,
pause right there.
Okay, yeah. Too far.
Why do you skip back so far?
It only goes in 10-second increments. I can't change
Oh.
it. But yeah, that's a cool scene.
There we
Okay,
go.
so here we have Riri Williams, who is going to be Ironheart in the Ironheart series.
And unlike the comics, will be Wakandan,
Yeah, which
and
is
not from the U.S.
not just a random person
And
from
so
MIT.
presumably, instead of just like making a suit in her like college dorm room, she'll make it out of vibranium in a super high tech lab,
Which makes way more sense.
which makes more sense, but I kind of
Kinda
takes
lame.
away from her like intelligence in the comic book.
Well, she can still be super smart. I mean, she's working for like Wakandan science lab.
Yeah, but like if you have access to super metal that can do anything, I mean, really anyone could have done that if they're working in the Wakandan laboratory.
No, because she's got a hammer
He's a
laser.
Oh, she looked at the
special
screen.
smarty
So here
pants.
we say
There's
see-
there's Namor.
So we see some blue people.
Okay, yeah.
So, I think that's.
Dude, this is Avatar.
I think.
yeah, yep.
I think
This comes out a month before Avatar 2.
I think that the blue people are like the regular Atlanteans, and since he's half human, he's
He
like
doesn't turn
tan
blue.
instead of blue.
Yeah.
So
Whenever they're on land, they turn blue, and they have to wear like oxygen masks. We'll
Yeah.
see that later. Yeah, watching this, it does look very similar to Avatar.
yeah, the helicopter's literally the same.
Yeah.
They just don't flap.
So
Here we are at the UN.
see.
I believe in that scene she's requesting help from other nations, and no
Yeah,
one's giving it
she's
to her.
yelling.
Yeah. So here we have the Atlanteans wearing the
White
oxygen
guy.
mask. There's white guy.
Dude,
There's
There's
Riri
the
and
Iron Heart.
Iron Heart right there.
No way.
There it is.
There's a big fight
That's
scene.
the thing. They're
It does look
training-
very cool. And then at the very very end of this trailer,
Daredevil.
no, they just stick that in all of them now.
It's the
He's like
same
their Nick
scene,
Fury.
He just does a flip into the frame every single time. They're like, Daredevil, you want to help? He's like, no, I'll show up at the end. Okay, there we
Okay,
go.
yeah. So we got we got to go back again because.
Namor, cars exploding, Shuri's crying.
Okay. This is interesting. Do you think they flood the whole like Capitol building and this is him like taking over?
I think that's his own.
Or that's his own building.
Yeah.
There's
But this all looks very cool.
Okay,
There we go. New Black Panther. Obviously not M'Baku.
Yeah. So whose butt do you think that is?
Is it Shuri's butt?
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation. It's definitely Shuri.
It's definitely.
I don't know why.
it's a girl.
Stop
character.
speculating. It's obviously Shuri. Who else would it be? That makes any sense.
The only problem with it being Shuri is that Marvel does not like the actress who plays Shuri.
So
Too bad, so sad.
Well, they don't have a choice.
yeah,
So they might be trying to phase that character out.
Yeah, the other character they
The other one people are
would be-
throwing around is Nakia, who
plays Shuri?
oh yeah, it could be her.
who's his love interest from the first movie.
Yeah, that okay.
That would also
She doesn't
make
really
some
fight
sense.
though. Well,
Yes, she
Except
does.
for she's like the leader of their like.
No, that's
Praetorian
the
Guard
Dora
or whatever.
Milaje. That's a different
yeah, it's
character.
different.
Whatever, you know what I mean. She fights anyway.
That's Spearwoman.
Yeah, Spear Woman. And there's the
Wakanda
logo, very
forever.
shiny.
Okay, hang on, pause it. When I first saw this, I thought they had just changed the title of the movie to just Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, but
which I feel like is what it should
then
be.
boop, there it is, Black Panther, and
Little
really
Black
tiny
Panther at
text
the top.
on top.
I feel like they should just call it Wakanda Forever, since I don't think there's going to be any Black Panther in it
Until
till
the very end.
end.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be more like unitive of like the whole character and like more of
Because
like an
this whole
accurate
movie,
depiction of the
it's a
movie.
war between Wakanda and the Namor
and Namor or
The
whatever.
problem is
So-
though, when people look at it, they go Wakanda forever.
I think everyone
They see
remembers.
Black
Okay, but the Marvel Studios logo is there, so they know
They're good.
that.
Yeah, they're good.
And everyone remembers Wakanda because everyone walked around saying Wakanda, Forever for
like
a
2
year.
years after the
Yeah,
movie
after
came
it
out.
came out. So I think everyone remembers that, Max. But also, I feel like this movie's gonna have less of like a central protagonist than the last one did.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna be kind of jumping around from different characters' perspectives. I feel like getting rid of that Black Panther name would kind of help out
But
with
you
the
know,
movie.
you gotta keep the thing.
They got to keep the brand name.
All right, cool. November.
Anyway, this does look very neat. My only problem with this is that the first Black Panther movie had a trailer with that kind of like darker cinematography,
Yeah.
and then when the movie came out, it was just super like digital and washed out and like filled with CGI crap.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not the same case with this.
Okay, you guys talk about Quantumania real quick, and I have to go to the bathroom.
It's like Ant-Man. Now, if you don't know Ant-Man,
Okay.
he
All right.
goes small.
Where's
He's
the-
gonna
where's the
be
key?
very average.
You think Black Panther looks very average?
No. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Well, hang on one second.
We just moved on.
So Black Panther will be the end of Phase 4 in November, and then going into 2023, we're gonna start Phase 5, which will begin in February with the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Ant-Man in the
Quantumania.
Wasp.
That's a different
different
movie.
On a different
That's
streaming
for
platform.
adults.
That one's going not to Disney Plus. But anyway, that Ant-Man and the Wasp will release on February 17th, 2023. Patrick, would you like me to read the plot synopsis
I will
provided?
read it.
You want to read it?
So,
Are you sure? I know you can't read very well.
Van Dyne family must navigate the quantum realm and all of its dangers, including facing Kang the Conqueror. The film feels more serious in tone, but plays as a family adventure ensemble piece from the footage shown. Exclusive footage was shown at the event that showed Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, having written a book and neglecting his family, causing animosity between them when all of the Pym/Lang family is sucked into the quantum realm. The realm is said to be very much like space with many alien creatures. This is also where they encounter Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors, who is wearing a green suit and purple helmet, but is not blue. The group also encounters Bill Murray, playing an unnamed character, as well as MODOK. A poster shown at the convention reveals that Cassie Lang, Catherine Newton, will become Stature at some point in the movie.
Yep, so this is Kang's first official appearance.
Well, aren't
As
they making that
Kang.
movie called The Kang Dynasty?
Yes, but he'll be in this
So-
first.
Oh, he wins.
In this?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, how are you going to make a movie a year later if he loses?
Well, if he's in the quantum realm, presumably he's not just like living in there on his own choice. So he's probably stuck in there for a little bit before that Avengers movie, where he
the
comes out and does a
TVA
big,
was in
So maybe at the end of the movie he escapes.
or he will escape from there, and that's how.
I know.
Did you lock it?
Yes.
Okay.
Doggy in.
Can you put something in front of the door?
She can't get in. She's fine. Well,
There's nothing
she'll-
we can do about
She'll
that.
give up eventually. So anyway, yeah, we also have MODOK, who apparently is a big yellow square thing, but he doesn't have a human. He doesn't have like a real face.
He's like a
He's like
computer
just like a
face.
full robot.
I wonder if it won't just be like Kang's sidekick.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's not MODOK. It's a different thing that they're calling MODOK.
makes
As they
sense.
do with
What
most
does
MODOK.
MODOK stand for?
Mechanical organism designed only for killing.
That's stupid.
It is stupid.
It's a stupid Patrick, do you know what MODOK looks like normally?
No.
Patrick Oswald.
Sam, look up MODOK.
Wait, 1 sec. There we go. Where's Safari? Oh, it's already up.
Big man.
Just a
Big
big
chair.
face in a chair.
That's MODOK. That's what MODOK is.
He's got hair.
Yep.
He's got tiny little robot
They're
legs.
gonna change that, right?
Oh, of course.
Yes,
Because that
obviously.
looks too stupid.
That is way too
Although I would 100% prefer that to a robot one.
No.
Yes.
No.
Come on, that'd be perfect.
This looks terrible.
Everyone at home, please, if you're listening on the audio platforms, please look up a picture of MODOK.
Everyone's gonna burst out in laughter if that shows
He's a
up.
big, smiley, angry little face man.
No, you know what they should do is they should take that PNG and put it into the movie exactly like that.
just like move him around with like Photoshop.
Absolutely, they should definitely do that. That would be the best.
Sam, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry about it.
Did
Anyway.
you accidentally unplug one of the microphones?
No, the microphones are fine. I was trying to plug in the charger, but it's okay.
Okay, if you will go back to whatever. So so also Bill Murray's gonna be in this. He's gonna be someone that Janet Van Dyne met when she was stuck in the quantum realm over the course of the last two
He was
movies.
just chilling.
So
in there.
apparently there's just a lot of other people in there, which is interesting. I don't know
Like
who knows
the
what I got there.
TVA.
Yeah,
What?
the TVA. Like, what if the TVA just
It
is
was,
in the
they said
quantum
it was
realm?
beyond time, and that's where Kang was like,
So they're just
Kind of
hanging out
at.
in the quantum realm?
maybe.
Like, their base might just be floating
Yeah.
around there.
But
That
isn't
would
there?
make more
Don't they
sense.
live in like a big city?
Yeah, I'm saying it could just like their city could be in the quantum realm,
Yeah.
just floating around
Isn't
somewhere.
the quantum realm like a big like orange particle
They
world?
said it's like space.
No, quantum
It's
realm
infinite. It's
the quantum realm is so small that it exists between space and time. Much
I
like
don't know.
the TVA.
Maybe,
it's
but
infinite.
we know Kang's in there, but he ain't blue. They're not gonna go that far.
Well, he's blue on the poster.
Doesn't he gotta be the
That's because
same?
the background's blue, but
Doesn't
he's
he
not
gotta-
gonna be blue in the movie.
Is Kang a variant of the guy from
Yes.
what's his face?
The one
Loki.
who remains
Yeah,
from the end of Loki. Yeah,
yeah. So there's Kang in the poster. He's
that's because the background's blue, but he's not.
I mean, he's
gonna
got the
be-
helmet.
Yeah, he's wearing purple and green, but he's not a blue man. And that's Stacher's outfit as well. That's a fake poster. Sam.
I know, but he's very blue on here.
That's a fake poster.
I'm
though.
well aware that it's a fake poster. Thank you. You said that a minute ago, and also it's obviously a fake poster.
What does he look like in the comics?
blue.
He looks like that, but blue.
A lot of the show
Actually,
is
he's purple.
slowly
No, he's kinda
googling things.
This is what he looks like in the comic.
The actor from Loki was really good, so it's the same guy, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors.
Here he is. Sort of. This is a more recent version of him.
Yes, he's got time powers.
Yeah. So his origin, as far as I understand it from
He's from the future,
he's from a future where the Avengers failed to save the world,
and everything is suck.
and for that he resents them, and he goes back in time so he can kill the Avengers and use his future technology to save the world when they fail.
And he's got a big time travel chair.
But in this, he is a conqueror from one of the multiverses who took over the TVA and is now using it to conquer other universes.
Yes. Other than that,
Rad.
they said that this Ant-Man movie is going to be a little more serious than the last one.
Will it have Owen Wilson in it?
No.
Why?
Why would he be in it?
Because he was in Loki.
But
but
none of
this
the
isn't
Loki
Loki.
characters
Loki's
are
not
in
in it.
this, though.
Maybe Owen Wilson will be in this.
Anyway,
Okay.
I don't know what Patrick's on.
Patrick's just like, but maybe.
Anyway, Sam, are you excited for Ant-Man 3 at all?
I want to see how Kang is introduced. That's really all I care
Yeah,
about.
I like the cast. I don't like the director,
Who's the director?
Peyton Reed, who is just like the boringest man on the
What has he
planet.
done?
He directed the season finale of Mandalorian, the last one,
That was good.
but it wasn't really that wasn't really him who did it though.
Well, he did the other Ant-Mans,
Yeah,
so it will be just like those.
presumably this one's a little bit bigger scale though.
Yeah.
I am If you put Bill Murray in a thing, I'm there. So we'll see what they
first
do.
Ant-Man
We'll see
was
how long
very
he's
good.
actually in it.
Alrighty.
I am shocked. I don't know how they got him to do this though.
So on to the next.
Because he loves it.
On
Just
to the
loves
next
acting.
thing. Secret Invasion on Disney Plus. So
It's coming in
we
spring
got some more
2023.
information on this, and it sounds interesting. It's not. It's still. We're still not really sure what it is, because it can't be the same as Secret Wars in the original story. Because
Or you mean
the
Secret
Skrulls are the
Invasion?
good. The Skrulls are good guys in the MCU. In the comics, they're very much bad guys. But and the Secret Invasion is they can shapeshift, and when they shapeshift, they steal your memories.
Aren't
and so
those
they're invading.
scrolls from?
Maybe it'll
Captain
be like
Marvel?
a it'll
Yes.
be like a spin-off.
Well, they're from space.
Oh,
They're in
Yes.
Captain Marvel.
They're in Captain Marvel, but they're from
Maybe it'll be about
general.
a
They're not like
different
her
universe.
villains in the comics. They're just
No,
characters.
she doesn't really have any.
Yeah.
They could make it a multiverse thing. It's just like a different universe where Secret Invasion.
Okay, but then.
But it takes place in the MCU, and it's all live action, so they're
no!
not going to do that.
You know how confusing that would be, Matt.
And also
They're making a
completely
zombie
pointless.
show.
but it's
That's a
animated.
cartoon.
Anything that's live action is MCU canon.
Yeah. So anyway, Don Cheadle, who plays Rhodey, is confirmed to be appearing in the series. Apparently, his mission is just kill time until Armor Wars starts filming.
Yeah.
The series will see Nick Fury back on Earth facing a Skrull invasion.
And presumably he's been off Earth for several
well, we know
years.
from Far
Where
From
is he
Home,
now?
he was in space.
Like, what happened?
He's on a ship in space.
He's
running
on,
sword.
yeah.
How did that happen, though?
We don't know. Presumably, he got on a spaceship and went to space.
Because wasn't the last that we saw him was in Infinity War?
The last we saw him was the post-credit scene of Far From Home. He's on a big, giant
Yeah.
spaceship with a bunch of Skrulls and humans on it.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we know he was still in space as of WandaVision from that post-credit
But we
scene.
don't know how he. Last we saw him on Earth was he got dusted at the end of Infinity.
No, last we saw him on Earth was,
Was
Tony
it-
Stark's funeral.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, didn't we see him at the end of what the freaking?
Far From
Spider-Man.
Home.
Yeah.
Yep, we
I
just- we
did
talked
mention
about
that twice.
You asked and we answered.
Do you listen when we answer your questions?
I don't listen to anything.
Okay, well
All
that
right.
explains a lot. Anyway, so yeah, Maria Hill, Talos are going to be his allies in this.
So do you think?
Amelia Clark's going to show up playing a currently unnamed sword agent, and Olivia Colman will be in this
She's
playing
an
an old ally
attractive woman.
of Nick Fury. The rumor for Amelia Clark's character is the green-haired alien woman from Sword. I forget the character's name.
Yeah.
She's in Earth's Mightiest Heroes for a little bit. So my guess is this will less be like a Skrulls have all infiltrated superhero thing, and more of a Skrulls have infiltrated the government.
Yeah, they said they described at Comic-Con that it was going to be more of an espionage thriller,
Yeah,
and they also said it was going to be the darkest show in the MCU, which
I don't know what that even means anymore.
Why do
Yeah,
they always
I don't
say
really know
it's
what
gonna
that
be
Does that
really
just mean?
dark?
See, whenever they say that, that either means they're gonna be slightly more violent, but won't show any of the actual
Yeah.
aftermath, or they're just gonna have it be darker lit than the other ones.
yeah,
But
Very
so I don't really know what that's
sword
supposed to mean. But I do think it's mostly just gonna be like a, you know how in Winter Soldier it was just like, oh look, all these politicians are Hydra
Yeah,
guys. It's
so
just gonna be
basically
that,
that
but they're
was Skrulls.
Skrulls.
Yeah.
So, what made Secret Invasion interesting before was, and again, this is Earth's Mightiest Heroes. This is
Well, in the comics too.
in the comics too. Earth's Mightiest Heroes was basically just a cartoon version of the comics. But what happened in that story was Captain America had been kidnapped nearly
A bunch of characters.
several years, but mainly Captain America was the big one because he was like a member of the Avengers. He had been gone for several years, and the team didn't know anything about it. They had been fighting alongside a Skrull infiltrator for years, and this Skrull infiltrator used his position of being Captain America to pave the way for more Skrulls to invade positions of power and slowly take over various positions on Earth. Doctor Doom was the only one who knew that the Skrulls were invading, and he had a technology that he gave to Iron Man to like find him out. Eventually they find out Captain America is a Skrull. They fight for a while. Captain America eventually leads the kidnapped humans that were on the Skrull planet back to Earth, and then there's a big fight and they beat up the Skrulls, and Earth is saved.
Yeah, the fun of the comic is that they legitimately don't tell you who is a Skrull and who isn't.
Yeah, and
so when you find out, you're finding out along the characters, which is like the whole.
It was
fun
really
part.
fun,
and it was anyone was up for grabs. Like anyone could be the Skrull.
And what made the Skrulls especially scary is when they shapeshift into you. They don't just take your appearance; they take all your memories too. So you cannot tell who they are by like talking to them because they will know everything that person knew.
But they've changed that in the MCU.
In this, they're different now. They don't have the memories, which kind of makes them lame. Now, to be fair, in the comics, they could only copy your memories if they like scanned you for a while. They could just by looking at you, they could only copy your appearance.
And maybe Super Skrulls will show up in this as well.
Yeah, Super Skrulls are just Skrulls that have shapeshifted into heroes.
No, they
so
Super Skrulls can obtain the powers
of the person they copy
but they can't do the appearance. So so they have powers, but they can't shapeshift, and the other ones can shapeshift but not obtain the powers.
Yeah, they're very interesting. They're a very like technical and interesting part of the
I think
MCU,
it's gonna be
Marvel universe.
Weird that they've kind of set the Skrulls up as all good.
Yeah, see,
but
that's
now
the
they're
thing.
gonna be bad.
In Captain Marvel, they, for the sake of surprising us, they flipped the roles of the Kree and the Skrull.
Yeah.
Originally, the Kree were the good guys and the Skrulls
Neither
were the
one
bad
of them
guys.
were very good, but the Skrulls were just straight.
The
up
Kree
evil.
weren't trying to kill everyone, so they were a little bit better. But they flipped the script on us in Captain Marvel with the Skrulls being the good guys. So now we really don't know how this series is going to work, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
They've said that like there will just be evil Skrulls as well.
What they could do, and this is what I think they're going to do, is the main Skrulls, the Skrull planet, will be evil, and Talos and his group of refugees
they'll be
had
good.
fled that planet because the Skrull planet was evil. So that's why there are good Skrulls in Captain Marvel, and that's why they call them refugees from in Captain Marvel. And then that also gives them a good excuse for why all these evil ones are invading now.
All right. I can't wait for all of the scenes of a 75-year-old Samuel L. Jackson to be running around.
And this would have been so cool if this was like, instead of doing this like haphazardly in a show, this was like the next phase.
This
like,
is such a weird thing that they're burning
this could have been
this.
the next saga. That's how big of an enemy the Skrulls were.
Yeah.
They copied heroes and then pretended to be them for years. And it was so cool.
It was like a whole event.
Yeah, and it ran for several years in the comics. Like that's how long and planned out the Skrulls invasion was. And then now we're just doing it in like one Disney Plus
We're doing
series.
it in 6 episodes with no major characters in it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be not as cool, but
All right.
whatever. Okay.
And then the one after that is another movie. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on May 5th, 2023.
Yes.
The one I am by far the most excited for. We got a synopsis for this as well. The story is centered around Peter Quill, Star-Lord, attempting to win over Gamora, who is now the leader of the Ravagers.
Other universe Gamora.
Gamora, who is from 2014.
Yeah.
However, Quill must rally his team around him to defend the universe, along with protecting one of their own, a mission that, if not completed successfully, could quite possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them.
But it won't.
James Gunn has confirmed that this is the end of the Guardians story in the MCU. It's his last thing he's working on.
But he said that they're not all
But
gonna
he just said just because it's the last movie doesn't necessarily everyone's going to die. It's going to be mostly, the main focus will be Rocket.
Yeah.
And his origin is going to be shown. He'll be a little baby raccoon who's taken and experimented on by the High Evolutionary, who is played by Chukwudi Iwuji, who was Myrn in Peacemaker, which was the last thing he did.
Okay.
Maria Bakalova is confirmed to be voicing Cosmo the Space Dog, who we saw in the last 2 but didn't say anything.
He didn't do anything. He was just in the background.
Yes. Footage was shown. They showed off like a full trailer at the con, but they didn't release it because it's too far out, and also because the CGI wasn't done.
Yeah.
And they showed a full scene of an interaction between Gamora and Peter. And the whole thing was that Gamora like didn't even know Peter's last name, but Peter was still trying to like.
Oh, they have their comic accurate suits.
Yeah, they also
like their uniform suits or their more recent comic accurate
like their
suits?
green ones with like the logo on the middle, like the one
The
from
blue and red one,
like the old classic ones.
the one where they had uniforms.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're wearing those in this. Which Rocket was wearing his in Endgame, but then no one else did. So they showed footage of them in the comic accurate suits. They also showed Adam Warlock, who is apparently going to be like like a mommy obsessed baby in this.
Oh, that's
It'll be more of a joke.
funny. Adam Warlock in the comics was like extremely powerful. He in the MCU, Vision had the Soul Stone or the Mind Stone in his head. In the comics, Adam Warlock had
the Soul Stone.
the Soul Stone in his head. So they kind of flipped those two characters.
He's gonna have a stone in his head, but it's a different stone.
It doesn't. Yeah, he's not nearly as powerful. Obviously, he doesn't have an Infinity Stone, so he's not nearly
Groot's
as powerful.
gonna be a young adult, so he'll probably be
the same, basically.
teenage Groot from
It'll
the
be the
last
same,
couple
yeah.
things. And then adult Rocket is not seen in any of the footage. So my guess is because that's so focused on Rocket, I think they're saving that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna
that's
be trying
gonna
to
be the
save
emotional
Rocket.
core
Yeah.
of the movie. Because the whole story of Rocket is that he's like, James Gunn has described him as the saddest creature in the universe.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the main focus of the story. The thing I'm most excited for about this is that this is ending. And it's not because I don't like the other Guardians movies. I really like those movies, but it's good when this like never-ending MCU saga that anything has a conclusion.
Yeah.
Because like it's either that they eventually end this properly at some point, or this thing just flames out.
Or it CWs itself.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they're like, it's a story with a beginning, middle, and an end.
Now, I don't think this will be the end of the Guardians in the MCU. I still think they'll show up in other stuff, but I think this is the last Guardians story.
It's gonna be the last one with at least this roster.
Yeah.
And with James Gunn working
Like
on it.
in Secret Wars, they're gonna show up.
So yeah, whoever's still alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, because after this, Gunn's going to DC permanently. He's gonna go do TV shows for them from now on.
But yeah, I'm excited.
I'm
for
very
Guardians
excited for
3.
this. And High Evolutionary Sammy's gonna show up.
He's gonna be there. Alrighty. Next thing, Echo. Summer 2023. Daredevil
Plus
and
show.
Kingpin will appear.
That was the only thing they confirmed, but we
It's
already
a
knew that.
sequel to Hawkeye.
We talked about it either last episode or a couple episodes before it was leaked what's going on
If
with
you
them.
liked Hawkeye, this is season 2 of that. So
and
there you
also
go.
Daredevil and Kingpin are here.
Yes. Daredevil Born Again.
No, you skipped like four things.
Oh yeah, I did. Loki season 2 comes out in summer 2023.
The Marvels, which is a movie,
yeah.
comes out on July 28th, 2023.
These things we don't have a lot of information on. We're just
Blade
gonna list off the
got
names.
a date, November 3rd, 2023, and that starts shooting later this year, I think like next month.
Yes.
And then Ironheart coming in fall 2023. That's
Disney
another
Plus.
Disney Plus show. Agatha Coven of Chaos, which is a Disney Plus show, that's been renamed from House of Harkness because that was a stupid name that made no sense.
Yeah.
That's coming out in either winter 2023 or 2024.
We don't know
which means
yet.
it's probably going to be December through January, so therefore it's technically 2 years.
Okay, why?
What?
Why Agatha? Why is she still in the MCU?
'Cause she's getting a spin-off show.
But why?
Because everybody needs a spin-off, Sam.
But like we have Wanda's dead, so like what does she do now?
She's going to do magic.
She will do.
She'll
magic
be a
without
good
Wanda.
guy now.
Good guy Agatha?
Yeah, because the Darkhold's gone, so now she's good.
Okay.
And it's Catherine Hahn. And Agatha is a character with zero source material. This is literally a Morbius.
Yeah.
They're Morbiusing this.
That's character.
Agatha in the comics is like an elderly woman.
She's just an elderly wizard woman who
Yeah.
like occasionally is like, hey, Doctor Strange, here's a magic book I have. Okay,
Yeah.
have fun. Bye-bye. Like she's just literally basically a librarian, more or less, who occasionally helps them learn stuff.
So, AKA, they gonna make stuff up.
Yep.
All right.
Glup crapo.
The first, okay, now we move on. That was all stuff we knew was coming. Like
This was all
officially.
stuff we just got like dates for it. Yeah.
Now, this is the stuff that we technically knew about from like newspaper. Like
From leaks, but it hadn't been official.
Not
yet.
like even leaks, like from like a casting announcement because the actor told it to their agent. But like,
yeah, like I said, leaks.
yeah. So this is the official new announcements. The first one was Daredevil Born Again, which will be a Disney Plus series premiering in spring of 2024. It will consist of 18 episodes, which is
Wow, it's
12 more than your average series, and
it's the
5
length of
more,
a whole show, actually.
which is yeah, because even on
Where'd they get the
Netflix,
budget for that?
Disney's infinite pile of money.
How much did Stranger Things 4 cost? Like
We
unlimited.
talked
money?
about it. It was somewhere, I think, it was over $500 million.
yeah.
But it was cool though, so worth it.
So, yes, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio will officially return. 18 episodes is 5 more than even a season of the old Daredevil show.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. If this airs weekly, as the other ones did, this will go for...
Well, it'll have a
4.5 months.
2-episode premiere.
So 4 months of Daredevil show.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of show.
Disney needs to not make everything weekly format. Like this show, I think they could release maybe like 2 episodes.
Please do it all at once.
All at once.
Well, I don't know. 18
No,
is
'cause
a
that
lot to
ruins the
watch at
show.
once.
It ruins the
I don't
show
know.
sometimes.
No, like
okay.
100% makes it like
That's
really.
so
audience
many
Like
friendly.
for
episodes.
Obi-Wan, it was like fine. It was just like 6 episodes, so you could like every week, or like Loki was fine because there's not that many episodes.
But-
like 18 episodes needs to be like.
But you can see from
Do
what
you
we...
remember how long a season of The Flash was? By now?
This is the same length as...
They would do like several months of it and then take a break.
Hey, Patrick. The last season of The Flash was as long as this.
I'm talking about old Flash.
I know. But The Flash and this are now the same length.
Okay, but old Flash, it's like 24 episodes or whatever.
It was 22.
They're not gonna do like a chunk a week, because then they would just make it like less episodes. Like, why would you
I
do
do
it
think
that
the
way?
episodes will be shorter, though. They
Yeah.
won't necessarily be 22 minutes, but you know how Mandalorian has like occasionally like a 30-minute episode? That's what this will be for like the entire thing.
Which it's just so stupid that in a 6-episode show you have filler episodes.
Well,
Yeah, but we're
this
not
will
talking about that.
This is
I don't
not
know.
a 6-episode show.
I'm just sick of weekly format because it's like new Marvel show, watch for like almost a month and a half. New Marvel show, month and like it's just constant.
They're trying to avoid the
constant,
Netflix problem,
But-
which is when people will just buy it to watch Stranger Things and then they'll cancel their subscription.
This
Also,
will-
Yeah, but
it
the
makes
thing
it
is-
so that your show's only popular for 1 week, and then everyone forgets about it.
I know, but it's like if they released maybe like
And then
it's
also-
Personally inconvenient to Max.
Yeah.
sure because weekly format has absolutely 0 issues.
It's better than binge format. Like,
Especially-
it just definitely
okay.
is.
If it is 18, I'm glad it's weekly because 18 to watch over like a weekend is like
That'd
too
be a-
much.
well,
It's like
for
a
Stranger Things, I watched all of it.
But that
in
was
one day.
not. That was
I'm not
7 and then
asking-
2.
I'm not asking for
Yeah,
binge
but
watch.
every episode was
That's
like
not
an
what I'm
hour
saying.
plus.
I'm saying they need to do it like maybe 2 times a week because it's a lot of things.
No, but then
Yeah,
it's
I
too
can see them
much.
doing that. Like an episode on Wednesday and an episode
There you
on
go.
Friday. They're not going to do
That
that.
You
would
can
throw
tell it's
everything
week.
off.
You can tell it's weekly because that like is the only one they've announced for 2024. That's
Yeah.
the only Disney Plus show for that.
That one's
whole
going to be
year.
running for a long
That's
time.
going to air for a third of the whole year.
Yeah.
So they've cleared out pretty much
Which
that
is
entire
fine, because
slot.
then you just got the one show.
If it's
to worry
that
about.
long, I'm glad.
No,
Yeah.
you
'Cause I don't
watch
wanna have to
Star
watch
Wars
that
on
and something
Friday,
else.
and you watch Marvel on Monday.
Except for there is no Star Wars announced yet.
Well, there
there's
will be.
just a lot of Marvel. But it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
that's the theme of this whole thing.
Okay, so when they run Marvel into the ground, then they'll start running Star Wars into the ground.
Even more than they already
They
did.
already did.
All right.
They'll do it again.
And
Alrighty.
by the time Marvel dies, DC gets it.
The next thing, Captain America New World Order, will be coming out May 3rd, 2024.
Yes.
This is the Anthony Mackie.
He's Captain America
yeah,
now. He's got a
Captain
big
America.
wings and a shield.
I don't know what
wing.
New World Order is, because that's like the same exact plot as Winter Soldier.
I think this is probably going to be the only thing that actually continues the whole half the universe got wiped out. Now everyone's back.
Yeah.
Because that's what Falcon and the Winter Soldier talked about.
Yeah.
And no one else even mentioned it.
No one has brought it up
No
since.
one's brought it up.
Everyone's back. It's normal.
Everyone's just like, everything's cool now. Dudes, there is no problems.
It's like COVID, where like, oh wait, we're gonna get one of those disinformation things now. I'm sorry, but it's like, you know, people, we were doing it, we were in it, and then now we're out of it, and everyone's just like non-existent.
Sam, have you seen Gravity Falls anytime recently?
No, but I remember.
So do you
it.
know at the end of the show after Weirdmageddon, their slogan is just never mind all that, and
Yeah.
they just pretend. That's basically what they're doing with this. They're just like,
Yeah.
nah, it's,
Never mind all
never
that.
mind, I didn't have. Just don't worry about it, dude.
Yeah. Alrighty.
You don't even gotta worry about it.
And then the final thing in Phase 5 will be on July 26th, 2024.
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. It's a movie.
It's gonna be the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's Suicide Squad.
So hang on. I lost my train of thought. They didn't reveal the roster, although we have a general
They've been
idea.
slowly building it. Who do we have so far? We have
We talked about it.
Yelena Belova. We have Red Riot. We have Ghost.
Who's a Red Riot?
Who's the Soviet Captain America guy? What's his
Red
name?
Guardian?
Red Guardian, whatever.
No.
Yeah, he will.
Dad?
Yes. We have U.S. Agent, who is the
Hopper?
super serum,
Hopper.
who's the super serum guy
Hopper's
from.
buff now, though. So.
Never mind.
We talked. Okay, so this was revealed by Hollywood Reporter, I think, like a month ago. We talked about what actors they were reaching out to about their schedules being clear to film next year. So I'll see if I can
Like, make
find
way, we're doing
that.
a Marvel thing. Make sure you're not doing anything else, because Marvel thing is the most important.
Well,
This is
that's
your
how
life
we know
now.
who the roster will be, is based on what actors they were contacting.
Yeah.
Is there? Can
That's what
you?
I'm-
They should put Timothy Chalamet in Marvel.
No, they shouldn't.
Why not?
I can finish my list I was already giving it.
Sam, you can go.
No, you
I'm gonna
can't.
find the
I
actual.
was just surprised. I don't think Hopper's.
Yeah. So, Max, why else would they introduce that character?
So that he can be in one movie.
No, that's not a thing. Name one character in the entire MCU who's only been in one movie.
Agent Carter.
I don't know. There's like a
Agent
million
Carter's been in other things. She had her own show.
The guy who plays Jarvis.
He's in every single movie Iron Man's in.
No, but as Jarvis.
He was
Every
in 3
single
movies
Iron
as
Man
Jarvis.
movie.
No. But as Jarvis before he was an AI thing.
Black Widow's mom.
What? Patrick, that's not a character.
I mean, he is, but
It
he
is
was in the
Agent
Agent Carter
Carter
show.
That's not Jarvis.
Yeah, it is. There's a real guy named Jarvis that the AI is named
Okay,
after.
that's not a movie.
What about
But like that guy is such a minor character.
And that's not a movie, so it doesn't count.
so far Katie?
80.
Shang-Chi's friend.
Okay, stuff that doesn't only have one in stuff that we know is done.
Like the Black
Morris.
Widow movie.
Morris is from Shang-Chi. Stuff we know is done.
Like Black Widow.
Yeah, except for she's in 2 movies. Actually, she's in like 4 movies.
Okay,
You can't.
here we
What
go.
about villains?
Sam, there's like 5 billion characters.
Name one.
We name one character. What?
Name one character, hero character from the MCU who doesn't show up in another show or movie.
Mandarin.
The Mandarin shows up in other
Both
in
versions.
stuff that there isn't like stuff that they already haven't confirmed sequels
Yeah, you
for.
can't say like Gore the
Also,
God
I said
Butcher.
hero character. He's a villain. Because there aren't any. Every single hero character shows up in a million things.
Tony Stark's.
What about Anthony
She
Mackie?
will show up in more stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie specifically
Okay.
as Captain
But
America.
like what? Like why? Black Widow's
He
dad,
has his
though.
own movie
What?
on here.
Like, why
yeah.
would he be rumored to be on the team?
Because he is.
Oh, I found the thing, by the way, if you want me to read it.
Yeah, read it.
Okay, so Allegra DeFontaine, Valentina Allegra DeFontaine will be the leader. So that's Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It'll what?
He's gonna be a goofy character though.
She's already in it.
Continue.
She is?
She's in Black Widow and
gosh,
in
shut up,
and in Winter
Falcon
Soldier.
and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yelena Belova, U.S. agent, Taskmaster. Zemo will be like the infield leader. Ghost, and then let's see. That's all it says on here. But I know they were contacting more that were up for grabs.
really
Probably
don't think Black
Abomination. Pretty much any villain who they haven't killed will probably be on
Yeah.
the team.
If he's not on the team, he'll be in the show though.
I mean, maybe, but he's just like
'Cause he's-
so minor, and he doesn't.
So is Yelena
And he's-
Belova.
What
No,
did
but she's
Taskmaster do, Max?
This Taskmaster, that's a name. If you go up to someone and go, hey, like, if you go up to a random Marvel fan and go, hey, you know, Taskmaster, they'd be like, maybe, yeah. But if you go, oh, you know, Red Guardian, they're like, no.
Max, if we weren't talking about Marvel stuff and I was like, hey, remember Yelena Belova? You'd be like, who's that?
No, I know who she is.
Patrick, who's Yelena Belova?
Was she the blonde one?
Yeah, see, he knows her.
Who's Red Guardian?
I don't know.
See?
They have
That
the exact
proves my
same.
point.
They have the same amount of screen time.
No, but Yelena is like, she's related. She's so much more prevalent in the story, and she showed up in Hawkeye already. We know she was
Whatever.
contacted by Yelena.
They're both gonna show up in
Okay.
stuff.
I'm just
You don't
still-
show up once in the MCU. You
My
show up a bunch
brain
of
is
times.
just still like, what? That was Elaine from Seinfeld.
That was Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Anyway, world famous comedian.
Anyways,
My point is, just to rebut Max for a second. Max, do you remember the character Ghost?
You said
Yes, the girl from Ant-Man.
what's her name?
Ghost.
What's her name? Yeah, okay.
Do you think they're more, Max? Do you think someone on the street is more likely to remember Red Guardian or Ghost?
Probably neither. I don't know.
So if Ghost is remembered as Little and she's on the team,
Yeah, but she was like the main villain of a movie.
not really.
Yeah.
That movie really didn't have a main villain.
Yeah, that movie was kind of
She
aimless.
was in it.
Oh no! You know who the main villain was of Ant-Man and the Wasp? It was Walton Goggins
Who's Walton Goggins?
from the guy. Never mind, I don't know why I even bothered.
Was he the like the?
You don't remember anyone's name?
Was he the arms dealer guy?
Yeah, he was really the villain of that
Yeah,
movie.
but he was only in it for like 5 seconds.
Tucker,
They never bring him back. They should bring him back.
Tucker, this is why in my reviews I always say, you know, the guy who was like this, and I never use their names.
Patrick, you can't remember what we were talking about 3 minutes ago.
Or you'll just say the same exact thing we said 3 minutes ago, like you just came up with it.
I have good original ideas.
That are our ideas from 5 minutes ago.
That they're new to him.
But he thinks he just came up with them.
All
Well,
right.
I did just come
So
up
that
with it.
so Thunderbolts
but
will round
that
out
wraps-
Phase
yeah.
5. It's a ripoff. Oh, if you don't know the premise of Thunderbolts, they take a bunch of criminals, they stick bombs in their heads, and they make them do secret missions for the government. If that sounds familiar to you, that's because it's a direct ripoff of the Suicide Squad,
Yes.
which DC only made as a ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. Although the Suicide Squad sequel was made by James Gunn, who made Guardians of the Galaxy, and they are now ripping off the guy who made a movie for them that they are ripping off the ripoff of.
It's a triple ripoff.
Yes.
Anyway,
Basically,
trip off.
basically, idea ripped off of idea that was ripped off from the guy who made the original idea,
and then rip that off.
and then ripped that off.
We're like 4 layers deep at this point.
It's a stupid premise.
Anyways, starting off,
I hope they go, what is this, some kind of suicide?
they got
What are
What
these? Some
Thunderbolts?
kind of
What are we?
thunderbolts?
Some kind of lightning bolt? All right. Anyway, yeah, Thunderbolt's also not a thing. It's just not a thing that exists. It's an attack in Pokemon. It's not a thing that exists. There's lightning
in the
bolts.
comics?
There's thunder. A thunderbolt is not a thing.
Yeah, but it sounds cool.
Sounds very cool.
That's because it's an attack from Pokemon. Anyway,
It was people called them thunderbolts before Pokemon was a thing. Sam, I'm
and those
pretty
people
sure.
were dumb who don't know what a lightning bolt is.
I think that's just a nickname for it. I don't think anyone was like, "Hey, remember that
let's
attack
not
from
waste time talking
Pokemon?"
about something this
Fantastic
stupid.
Four kicks off Phase 6, November 8th, 2024.
They did not reveal a cast or a director or a premise or when
We
it's set
know
or anything.
nothing about this movie.
So we knew John Watts was directing, although he is now gone to go take a brain break from standing in front of a computer monitor animating an entire movie. Presumably at D23, which is only in September,
We're going to learn more about
we're going to learn more about this because this is supposed to start shooting soon as well because
Yeah.
it's going to have to. And also we need to know who the characters are because the rumor is that they're going to show up in either the post-credit scene of Black Panther or Ant-Man. So at that point, we're going to need to know who it is. And then they skipped pretty much the rest of Phase 6. There's like
And we're going
8
straight to the
empty
end
spots.
of Phase 6.
Yeah, and they revealed that the phase will end, as well as the whole multiverse saga, with Avengers: The Kang Dynasty on May 2nd, 2025, and Avengers: Secret Wars on November 7th of also 2025. It was revealed a few days later by The Hollywood Reporter that Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, is going to direct Kang Dynasty. We don't know who's going to do Secret Wars.
This is what it looks like when you like plan things in advance.
This is what it looks like when you meticulously plan out a bunch of content and then cram it all together and then just see if the audience will pay to see it all.
Yeah, this whole phase is like less than a year long.
Essentially, every phase is now a year. Basically.
Well, that's because they release like, 20 Marvel things a year.
Four was 2 years. All of 5 will essentially be in 2023.
No, I mean, if you think about it, it's probably the same amount of content per phase. It's just compressed.
No. Phase 4 is way more than any of the other 3 phases
You
were.
think? Even with the shows?
No, like runtime. It's like way longer.
Phase 1 was 6 movies.
Yeah, so like maybe 10 hours of content.
This
Phase
feels
4
like-
is already
More than that if you just count the
already
Disney Plus shows.
7
Phases
plus Disney
5
Well,
Plus
that's
and
shows.
because Phase
6.
4 was planned really before they were doing the shows. And they started adding the shows.
No, they've planned the shows into Phase 4.
Yeah.
This feels like if like
I
Kevin
don't know what
Feige
I'm
just
talking about.
No,
went
you
to
don't.
some random guy, some random Marvel fan was just like, what what stuff do you like from Marvel? And he was just like, oh, no,
Guys, how many
Secret
comics do
Wars,
we
like,
have? Let's make all of
Thunderbolts,
them.
and they were just like,
Even the bad
We're just gonna make
ones.
all of that.
So they knew they were going to have to do shows by at least early 2017. So they were working those in from at least post Endgame plans. They were working those in.
Yeah.
So I made a list of everything that we know is happening, but wasn't even mentioned at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So on top of all this, there's a bunch of other stuff that they didn't mention.
Oh, we didn't mention King Dynasty is directed by.
I know I did say that.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We're good.
We'll go back to that in a second. But they didn't mention the Armor Wars Disney Plus show, the Marvel Werewolf by Night Halloween special, which is already finished and is supposed to come out this year,
Or the Christmas special.
or the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, presumably because that's technically kind of Guardians 3. Any sequel to Eternals, a Shang-Chi sequel, which we know is happening, Deadpool 3, which is entering pre-production already, the Nova series, the Wakanda series, the Wonder Man series, which Destin Daniel Cretton is also working on the Wonder Man show as well.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 4, which technically isn't up to them to announce. That's because Sony is
Sony
the
announces
distributor.
that,
They
yeah.
have to announce that themselves. Or any project involving the X-Men or a team of mutants or anything that isn't Deadpool
Yeah.
3. So
I want a direct sequel to New Mutants.
that's a lot of stuff.
No, you don't.
Obviously, the big mic drop here was Secret Wars.
Yeah. Which we don't have a director for, but coincidentally, a week before this,
No.
a couple of guys were like, hey, I'd like to do that.
But Kevin Feige said no. Kevin Feige said Russo brothers are not doing Secret Wars. And the writers of Infinity War Endgame are doing neither of these movies. So we'll see what happens with that.
I think they'll bring the Russo brothers on once everyone else says no.
But my guess
I
here...
really
No.
hope. I really hope that the Secret Wars show is just like
Secret Wars
very,
is going to
like-
be a movie.
hope it's just like foreshadowing, essentially,
what?
for like another.
The end of the
bigger
saga is
thing.
going to be foreshadowing for a different thing, Max. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, I'm saying like I'm
Well,
hoping.
it has to at least a little bit.
I mean, I'm hoping the show
Oh,
is just like
obviously.
a setup for them to do more of the Secret Wars stuff.
I don't think they're going to do that.
No,
I don't
I think
think
they're
they're
going
gonna
to
do
do
that,
it
Because
all in one
they
movie.
didn't be like, hey, guys, at the end of Endgame, we're going to be teasing more Thanos content.
Yeah.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna, at the end of it, it's gonna say, and part 2 comes in.
You mean the part 2 movie is going to have another part 2
Yeah.
attached
Oh
to
wait,
it?
they're making an Avengers movie for Secret Wars.
Yes, that's why it says
That's
Avengers
what
Secret
it
Wars.
says,
I didn't know they were
Max.
doing that.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay, yeah, I didn't read the whole thing, Tucker.
It's one line.
I didn't read any of that.
So,
I
okay.
was looking at it. You guys
My
were
guess
announcing
here
it,
is
so-
because Destin Daniel Cretton was only hired to direct Kang Dynasty.
Mhm.
Is what my initial thought was that they were going to shoot these back to back, like just over like one
Like what they
year-long
did with
period,
Infinity War.
which is what they did with Infinity War and Endgame. But from the look of this, I think these are going to have 2 different directors, and they're going to shoot them simultaneously.
That's gonna be great.
Like they're just going to have like half the cast here, and they're just going to like swap back and forth, just shooting all of these at
I
once.
would hate to be the person planning those productions.
I would hate to be the VFX army that's going to have to animate what will be 2 3-hour-long movies,
Avengers movies at
which
once.
are 3 hours and about 90% computer animation, and they're going to have to do it all over the course of about a year.
and they have to look good.
And they have to look up to Marvel's quality standards, or
Which
they'll
is-
get
on top
thrown
of
in the
the
pit.
12 months of content they would have been
Yeah. On
rapid
top
fire
of
producing during that time.
everything else above this.
I mean, their quality standard now is like floaty masks. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's going to get lower. The quality's just going to keep going down. The more volume.
so it started. It was kind of like woo, and then we hit a peak, and now it's
The peak was like Infinity War Endgame, and now it's
of
slowly...
quality? I don't know. I
I
say
think
it
it
was
was.
before that.
Thanos
Black
was...
Panther.
Thanos looked good.
Thanos
but, like,
looked really good. Most everything in that movie looked really good. For the scale of everything that was going on,
Wakanda
for
looked
the like
good.
80 characters that were 90% CGI, that looked really good.
What
Actually,
was
Infinity Saga looked.
my question is though is like what was the one with the best VFX?
Iron Man, the first one.
I honestly I would agree with that probably.
I think that's just because it was the most practical.
Yeah, because that had a real suit and
Yeah.
stuff in it, and now they're just like put Robert Downey Jr.'s floating head on a CGI suit.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to stand up. Just crop out his legs and then put his torso on.
He was like, he doesn't want to take his sunglasses off.
Yeah,
all right.
none of the actors showed up today.
Digitally paint his face on him.
Robert
get
Downey
out the-
Jr.
get out-
FaceTimes in.
Get out the green mannequins. None of the actors showed up today.
So here's my guess from the Secret Wars. So there's two versions of Secret Wars in the comics. There's one from...
Well,
We've talked about it before.
There's an 80s one. They're not doing that one.
There's an 80s one, which is a toy tie-in.
It is a nonsense.
And then there's a 2015 one written by Jonathan Hickman, which was like the culmination of like a 10-year-long run in the comics. He had done like, the first part was Fantastic Four, and then the second part was Avengers, and then the third part was Secret Wars, which was his giant conclusion. It also concluded the Ultimate Universe, which was a big thing for Marvel in the early 2000s.
This is Marvel's Flashpoint. That's what this is.
This was Marvel's Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, this was the full culmination and reset of everything that had come before. It was written as it had three main goals. One was to conclude his giant like 3-part saga. The second one was to get rid of the Ultimate Universe because they were phasing that out. And the third one was to...
It was bad.
What was at the time going to be the final Fantastic Four story.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows the cover of Secret Wars, which is just like this mass of like characters.
Every
floating
character
in,
ever,
like, big
yeah.
portals. But really the story is about... you're going to pull up the image.
Yeah.
Is really about Mr. Fantastic's relationship with Doctor Doom.
And how it ends.
And like a contemplation on that, and really like what the true differences between them are. But because those characters are not established and will barely be established for a couple months before this happens, and they're obviously showing Kang as the main villain of this phase, they're going to swap out Doom for Kang, and he'll just be bad.
Yeah. So this is Secret Wars.
This is the cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
as you can see, everyone is punching everyone.
Yes, for no reason, because that's not what the comic's about at all.
Yeah. But it looks cool.
But here's what's going to happen. So the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars are the two movies. Mm-hmm. We know from Infinity War and Endgame, which were our last two-part Avengers story, that they like having a cliffhanger in the middle of these.
Earl Captain America.
Look, there she is. So in Secret Wars, what happens is all of the entire Marvel multiverse is destroyed.
In an incursion. That's
in just this mass series of incursions. Each reality is destroyed one by one. At the start of Secret Wars, everything has already been destroyed except for the Ultimate Universe and 616.
the main universe.
Those are destroyed. A couple, like at the end of the first issue, and then Doom, who has gained the powers of what's his face, the Beyonder.
He's like God. He
gains the power of a god.
During this time, he's called God Emperor Doom.
Yeah, he takes what's...
He has a golden white suit instead of the regular
He
suit.
takes what's left of the Ultimate Universe and the 616 universe, and he combines them into a planet called Battle World, which is just basically the remnants of what's left, and he remakes reality in his own image. Except for there's a few surviving characters from the original 616 universe that throughout the story are able to overthrow him and then reestablish the main multiverse that we now know. But they combine the Ultimate Universe and the 616 universe at the very end, which...
Basically, he does what the TVA was doing in the Loki show.
No.
But we're
by
going to
himself.
have whatever's
No,
left
that's
of the
MODOK with a clown
Avengers
nose.
and the Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts all in this movie.
Yes, everyone's going to show up. Now, my guess is that Kang Dynasty will be essentially like a normal Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. It'll be set on Earth, and they'll fight Kang, and everyone will come together.
And then they'll lose.
But at the end, they will lose, and all of reality will be wiped out, except
and then they'll
for...
have to win later.
And then Kang will create Battle World using remnants of a bunch of different multiverses.
And the Avengers survive because they hide in the quantum realm.
They better not call it Battle World. That will be stupid.
They'll call it Battle World because that's what it's called in both this and the original 80s series.
That's dumb.
Well, that's what it's called, so they're going to have to call it that or else people will get angry on Twitter.
That was a dumb name.
Well, that's what it is. Get over it. His name's Kang the Conqueror.
He wears a purple suit.
He's got a blue face and a purple green suit.
Yeah, but Battle World is the thing I have a problem with.
You want to know what the name of the guy who made Battle World's name is Dr. Doom.
See, and then
His
I don't
real
have a
name
problem with
before
that.
he was a villain was a Victor Von Doom.
His greatest enemy's name, birth name, is Mr. Fantastic.
No, that's not his birth name.
Well, he calls himself Mr. Fantastic.
name is Reed
Yeah, it's Reed
Richards.
Richards. That's anyway. Continue.
Okay.
None of the names are all the Marvel names are dumb.
So-
They make fun of it all the time.
World is exceptionally stupid.
So because this is the multiverse saga,
Mhm.
and Secret Wars features an incursion of a bunch of different variants of all of our favorite characters, my guess here is that they're going to bring everyone back. And when I say everyone, I mean literally everyone
Yeah,
that they possibly can for Secret Wars.
and all the characters
So-
in What If, everything.
Yeah, what if characters, Fox
it's gonna-
X-Men characters, early 2000s Fantastic Four, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield,
First movie
what's
to-
his face, Lou Ferrigno, Hulk, like literally everyone.
Patrick and Max, I gotta unplug your microphone.
First
for a
movie
second.
to cost $1 billion to make.
Most likely, yeah, combined.
It'll cost a lot, and it will be very much a lot.
It'll be like a giant cluster. Like it'll just be like a monstrous CGI entity that this movie. Was all of them unplugged?
No, just those two.
What's going on?
How many CGI artists will die in the making of these movies?
Just they'll all have massive carpal tunnel after this. They will lose use of their
Their
right
eyes
arms.
will have just seared out of their brain.
They'll implode and they'll just like fall back in their chair and like a guy will run in and just switch them out with a different guy.
All right, you guys' microphones are back on now.
Okay, that's good. But the real thing here is we obviously know at the end of this, everyone will win and everyone will go home. We'll kill
Well,
off.
we can't lose.
We'll kill off some characters, the actors that don't want to do this anymore. But the main thing is, here's my guess. So at the end of the comic, I said they combine the Ultimate Universe and the 616 universe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the end of the Secret Wars movie, we're going to combine the Fox X-Men universe and the main MCU, and we're going to take
Which Fox X-Men universe?
the only one.
There's 3.
I know there's the dumb timeline. They're gonna take
4 if you count Deadpool.
They're gonna take the version with the actors that aren't 80 years old. They're gonna take all of those. They're gonna take the actors that Kevin Feige likes, and they're gonna bring them over. So
Yeah.
if he likes James McAvoy will be the MCU's Professor X. If he likes, what's his face as Magneto, I forget. He's a very famous actor.
He's
if
also
he likes
very
him,
old.
he'll bring him over. If he
What
likes
about the Greatest Showman guy?
Hugh Jackman,
Yeah.
he's not doing this.
Hugh
He might,
Jackman?
he might have a cameo in this.
He might show up in Secret Wars, but he would not be Wolverine in the MCU.
No, he's in his 50s, and he's not going to stay that jacked again for 20
Yeah.
years. So
I
he's
don't
not
know.
doing that.
Harrison Ford acting.
I don't think he would want to.
Acting,
I don't think he would want to pick up the role after Logan.
No.
I think that was very much it. This character is 100%,
Well, that
1,000
and,
million
like,
percent
Ken,
dead.
he like ate nothing but like broccoli and grilled chicken for
Yeah.
20 years. I think he's done doing that.
Yeah.
Now he wants to sing on Broadway.
Now he wants to do anything but live in a gym for his life.
Yeah.
But that's how I think.
He's a huge Ackman.
That's how I think they'll manage to. Okay, Max. That's how they'll manage to bring the X-Men in without having to recast everyone, including the people that the people like.
Yeah.
Because I think the general perception around those movies, the people like the cast.
People like the cast and the characters. They hate the story.
They hate the directors and the screenwriters.
Yeah.
And those people you can leave on the curb, and you can bring all the likable cast in.
Yeah.
And like what elements you like.
Because to be honest, almost everyone in the X-Men movies was cast really well.
Yeah.
It's just the story of each movie
Is terrible.
was awful.
Oh, except for Jennifer Lawrence. As long as they don't bring her
Yeah.
back.
Well,
As
she
long
doesn't
as-
want to be back.
Was she bad?
She
It's
wasn't.
Mystique?
She wasn't bad. She just didn't want to be there.
No, after Days of Future Past, she didn't want
Yeah,
to
she
be
just
there.
gave
Well,
up.
I think she didn't want to be there because of how long it took to put on the
Because they had to
suit.
paint her blue every day.
Yeah, for like 6 hours. All right.
But yeah, and that way you can have the X-Men as
Nowadays,
established
they would
figures
just do
in the
that in
universe
post.
going forward after this. So that's my guess for Secret Wars. And then in terms of what else is going to fill out Phase 6, Armor Wars, Spider-Man, whatever else is still lying around.
I think that they will.
Spider-Man.
I think they will do what they did with Infinity War, and they will actually end off this saga with a Spider-Man.
Like after
yeah,
Secret
like how
Wars,
they
there's
had-
had Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Yeah, like how they did with they
Black
had
Widow.
Endgame and then kicked another Spider-Man in there real
Now, we are doing Secret Wars,
Mhm.
and we have established the symbiote in this universe. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to do the symbiote storyline, this will probably be started here and then concluded in another Spider-Man movie.
I think by this point, Disney may reach a permanent deal in regards to either a licensing deal with Spider-Man or just fully acquiring the character.
Okay. I do think they're going to have...
What would be in it for Fox, though?
You mean Sony?
Fox is gone.
Sony will be in it because then they'll get to have MCU characters show up in their terrible Sony Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
But I think even those characters are going to show up in series.
Yeah, I think we'll see Venom.
Tom Hardy Venom will show up.
Guys.
Our boy himself,
Morbius.
Michael Morbius. He'll be back.
Okay.
But then you have to pay Jared Leto.
No. I think as a joke...
They're already paying everyone else.
I think there's a good chance that he's in this movie, says it's Morbin time, and then gets killed off. I 100% think that as a joke, they might actually do that.
I will applaud.
I think he might show up in this, say it's Morbin time, and then somehow get killed.
I don't think he'll do that because I think Sony would not let them do that.
I don't think
Sony cares.
Yeah,
I think Sony would not let them treat him as a joke because they want that character to be taken seriously.
Okay, but Jared Leto knows it's a joke, and Sony couldn't possibly not know that it's a joke.
The studio doesn't like that it's a joke. They just know
re-released the movie.
They know it became one, and so they tried to cash in on it. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what they want.
But they realized that they couldn't cash in on it, and so I think they're probably just going to abandon the property more or less.
It's over for them. They might as well just let it happen.
Morbius didn't make any money.
He says it's Morbin time and then he dies.
Yeah, that's a send off for the character.
And I do think it'll be considered to bring those characters into the main continuity permanently.
Yeah.
With Sony. I think I don't know if it will happen for sure just because I don't know if Sony wants to do that because they think that their universe is just as good.
It competes in any way.
Yeah, but
that's so
no
funny.
Way they think
it's so hilarious that they actually think that they are a real player in this story. It's hilarious to me that they think that they have any value at all.
That they have any skin in the game.
Yeah.
They're Sony.
No, they're just an obstacle.
Yeah. They are a hindrance to the success that is the other Marvel movies.
It's like Marvel
they
and
delude
Sony.
the pool of superhero movies.
Marvel and Sony are playing a game, and Marvel gave Sony a controller that's not connected, and Sony just really thinks they're going good.
Yeah, no, all of No Way Home was Marvel was actually playing the game, and Sony thought that they were playing with their controller. And then Morbius is when they realized their controller was unplugged the whole time and that their older brother didn't actually want them to play the game.
Here's what's going on. Marvel has already beat Sony at the video game. Marvel's on top right now. They're not even playing. Sony thinks they're playing, but their controller is broken. And DC is in another room and doesn't understand what the rules are. Yeah.
DC has their
DC's
a
doing
paper
better than
bag
Sony.
And then Amazon.
Are they?
Yes.
Amazon is sitting in the corner.
Well, I mean,
and they're just making fun of everyone.
Yeah. They're just going, you like Superman. Look, in our universe, he's a creepy pervert man.
Got him.
We got Invincible.
He's glue. Right?
Invincible's good.
He met Spider-Man once.
Okay. Anyway, and then after Phase 6 and the whole multiverse saga is concluded, my guess, which is now that the X-Men are fully incorporated in,
we have Apocalypse War.
We do phases 7, 8, 9, the Mutant Saga.
Yeah.
And we start having the main story crossover events be X-Men related. Or based off X-Men stories.
I don't want them to do mutants. I want them to do Inhumans again.
No, I think they'll do Apocalypse Wars. If they go that way, I think that'll be where.
I think Age of Apocalypse is what they'll call it. They might combine the two somehow.
It'll be the story of Age of Apocalypse, but they will call it Apocalypse Wars
because they have to put wars in the title now.
Yeah,
I guess they're kind of.
Also, that sounds cooler.
Infinity War, Secret Wars,
Age of Apocalypse is a cool
Apocalypse.
title.
But you can't call
Age of Ultron.
You can't call
it. That's true. Oh yeah, you're right.
You can't call it Age of Apocalypse because that movie exists and it's bad.
Well, that one was just called Apocalypse.
That it exists and it's bad.
That's true. Now,
Guys,
the reason
2 mutants, 2. That's what I'm saying. That's what's gonna happen.
The reason I think they're going to transition to
Morbius is going to be in that movie. He's a mutant now. Ignore the plot.
They should just make that for fun.
New Mutants 2 featuring Morbius.
Like he's just filming it in his basement.
Some guy's just like
They just
Morbius.
upload it to YouTube one day.
And then
It's like
some
not
guy-
even a real movie.
Some guy from New Mutants is just like, Morbius, you didn't get powers from the bats. You
And he goes,
it's a
it's Morbin
mutation."
time, and he eats the werewolf girl.
Yeah, why was she a werewolf?
Shh. Don't you dare ask those kind of
I'm
questions.
gonna put a link to our New Mutants review in the corner.
Yeah.
Do you remember where they just had like nude teen girls in the?
Yeah,
freaking-
like 3 different times.
Right.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that was
weird.
really weird.
I try to block out New Mutants.
All I remember is the end. Where it
Anyway,
turns to a big wolf.
but the reason I think we're gonna
Bear,
That's
you
transform
mean.
funny.
no, that was a big fake.
It's
that
a
was a
bear.
big ghost bear. Anyway,
I don't know.
and no one transformed into it. That was just there. That's not the point.
Who cares?
The reason I think we're gonna transition into X-Men stories
Because they're out of
is
stories.
that they're out of Avengers and other stuff. Like we've done Secret Wars, we've done Infinity Gauntlet, we've done Secret Invasion, we have done
Yeah, let's just look
Age
up.
of Ultron. We've done
They
Loki.
might have to crack into the new comics.
No,
They are.
They have quite a few Fantastic Four characters they could go off.
Oh, no, I'm not characters. I mean, like
I'm just
major
thinking-
stories.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking like big characters that could hold up
An Avengers.
an
movie.
Avengers level threat movie. You know, Taskmaster's a no. We already did him. I don't know who you are.
Korvac. Oh, Korvac's lame.
Scarlet Witch we already did.
Norman
Norman is
Osborn,
not an Avengers villain.
We're not
He
going
should
to
not
do
be on this
because
list.
of
Thanos,
No
we're
Way Home.
done. We did that. Free
We've
Scrolls, we're
all
not going
done
to do because
Skrulls.
they messed that up. Baron Zemo's a good guy now.
Loki,
Loki's a
we've
good guy
done.
now.
Kang,
Kang
we'll
we're
have
doing
done.
right now.
Ultron, we've done.
Ultron's their big one, but
Yeah,
he's done
so we've
also.
kind of run out of Avengers villains and storylines. There are more big crossovers in the Marvel universe, but they all involve
Who is the
mutants.
baddest villain in Avengers?
So
Josh Brolin.
we could.
I can see it now. They all fly into their team up shot, and it's just regular Josh Brolin. Hey guys, They just step on and he dies.
he doesn't know he's gonna be there. The villain's like, "What? No,
He's
I
just confused.
I don't want to die."
I'm not really Thanos, guys.
Hey, I'm a Josh Brolin.
It's me, actor Josh Brolin.
All right,
Hi,
let's see.
No, but like with X-Men, you can do Age of Apocalypse, Days of Future Past,
Well, we're not gonna,
House of M.
I don't think
They
we're
could do
gonna do
Dr.
any
Doom.
big stories that we already saw in the X-Men universe, except Phoenix. We will do the Phoenix saga
Again,
They'll
because we have to.
because we have to. And so far, still, even though they've done it 3 times,
keep
they
doing
haven't
it.
done it right.
They'll do Dr.
until we
Doom
get.
eventually.
Well,
So-
Doom will be a big adversary after that.
I want
'cause
another
he'll be-
list
What
like
about
that.
Mole
other
and
one.
Friends?
Here we go.
Oh, the Mole Man. I would love the Mole Man
All
to be
right,
the main
so
villain.
King the Conqueror, we're doing now.
The Mole Man from Simpsons?
How did I forget Galactus? We still haven't done Galactus.
Yeah, we haven't done Galactus. He could definitely be a
He'll
big
do
bad.
He'll be
like,
after
like
that.
Fortnite?
But
How many bad guys does the world have?
Patrick,
lot.
they've been making comics for 80 years.
like world level, maybe 20 or
a
so.
couple. There's
Yeah.
not. They've kind of used most
Obviously,
of them.
Molecule Man, I don't think is going to be a big world-ending
No.
threat.
He's a big
Psycho Man.
Psycho
I'm
Mantis.
Psycho
Hey,
Mantis.
he's from the quantum realm.
Yeah, I don't think Psycho
No.
Man's going to be their big bad.
No.
Mole Man.
Again.
I love Mole Man. Namor.
Namor,
we've
we're
doing
doing-
Frightful
Frightful
4 is a joke.
Yeah. But she's got funny hair, though.
The Scrolls we've done.
Yeah, we're doing those. Annihilus.
Annihilus. We could do Annihilus.
We could do Annihilus. He is very confusing to explain,
they have
though.
to do the Negative Zone. They'll be doing Negative Zone and.
I think in Fantastic
Galactus
Four,
and-
the Negative Zone will already have been established as a thing, because that's a really bizarrely large part of the
Once we've
Fantastic Four mythos.
Yeah, once we've exhausted Quantum Realm, we'll move on
Patrick,
to Negative
you know
Zone.
how in the DC universe and Arrowverse they have Bel Rev and they put all the villains in there? Okay. In the Marvel universe, all the villains that they don't kill, they take to another dimension and lock them in tiny cells in the Negative Zone, and it's literally impossible to escape
It's
because
the Phantom
a,
Zone.
So
it's a dimension.
just
Yeah,
like
it's the Phantom
One
Zone, but there's a
Piece.
building there.
It's the Phantom Zone because Marvel and DC, all they do is rip each other
And
off.
those 2 comic books were written by the same guy.
It's just like One Piece.
And each author only has one idea.
We'll do Galactus.
Galactus will do eventually.
And along with that, we'll do Silver Surfer.
I think Galactus, though, is
I
real
hope he
far
wears
off in the
that same
future.
costume.
I think Galactus will be after this.
You know what?
We need another big purple
I
spaceman.
don't know that Galactus could be like Avengers villain.
You can't make him a villain that you build up to.
Yeah, because he's
not intelligent.
he's not intelligent.
He doesn't have a plan.
He just shows up.
He
and
just
starts
shows up.
eating stuff.
Yeah, and he'll just
Just
eat.
like, oh, I'm kind of.
Yeah, that's literally his only
You know
motivation.
Well, they'll give him a backstory.
You know what?
Unless they change him.
I
yeah.
think they're saving him for the end.
The end of all of Marvel?
Yes, because
I think that's true.
he is a character where he shows up and you just bring everyone together so they can have one big fight and then everything
Come on,
ends.
there's no end
Just like
to
Lego Marvel superheroes.
Eventually it will, regardless of whether or not they
when
planned
it starts losing money, like when it gets bad, that's when they'll bring in Galactus.
I think 2026 it's gonna start going down.
I think 2030 we'll see a Galactus.
It's already starting to go downhill.
But they're going to keep making it. But they're still making money right now.
They're making
Sort
a
of.
lot of money.
The
They
only
are
one
making a lot of
The only
money.
one that's not is Eternals. Everything else is making money.
Yes.
I'm
So-
saying 2026 because that's like when Phase 6.
No, I
ends,
think
when
like
they're gonna-
2030 is when we'll get a Galactus.
20.
People will still
Yeah.
go to see these even if they're
That's
bad.
less than 10 years away.
I know.
Phase 1, or not Phase 1, the Infinity Saga was 11 years. They will definitely still be making Marvel stuff in 8 years.
I miss independent, not connected movies.
You just saw one, Patrick, literally like a few days ago.
I'm just sick of Marvel. honestly.
Yeah,
So much
and
stuff.
it was refreshing.
Yeah, and then obviously there's Doctor Doom. I think Doctor Doom could be the next Kang.
Bad. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Big boy.
He doesn't usually like. Secret Wars is kind of the only story where he has like a world-ending plan.
But we could make another world-ending plan. Okay, the name just immediately evokes big bad villain.
But most of what Doctor Doom does is just kind of sit in his big castle and get annoyed when people show up.
Hey, he's that guy from Fortnite, right?
But he's their greatest enemy, it said.
Yes, he is.
He is, because he was
Because he's a cool character.
It's literally the name. If his name wasn't Doctor Doom, no one would remember him.
He's the coolest character.
Yeah, he just looks cool and has a cool name. That's all you need to be
Anyway,
a successful Marvel
that's
character.
the Marvel Studios. That's the future of Marvel. We're going to get even more announcements at D23.
Yeah.
I expect there to... D23, I don't expect a lot. I think they're really just going to do the Halloween
We'll
special.
know every movie through 2050.
When they're
Well,
going to
they
be like...
said that Kevin Feige was planning out like the next 10
They
years
have
of
the next
Marvel,
10
so
years, yeah.
geez,
They know what they're doing for the next 10 years. So at least till 2032.
And Star Wars knows what they're doing tomorrow.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Kathleen
Sony
Kennedy will figure it out
is-
tomorrow.
Crying. Sony's just crying. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Sony doesn't even count. Why do you count them?
Sony is literally a joke.
They don't count. What did they make?
Oh, except for the Spider-Verse movies.
Okay, yeah, those are good.
Those count.
But there's
Everything
only one
else
of those.
doesn't.
So,
But there's going to be 2 more.
Venom.
yeah, they really don't count.
But
I was born when this was started, and I might die when it ends.
I was too young to watch Iron Man when it came out. I was like 7. Mama wouldn't let me see it. But now I'm 21 and they're making more still. So that's a thing. Anyway,
it'll end when we all die. No, the real answer is when all of the actors are too old to do it anymore.
No,
and
the
they
real
run out
answer
of
is when
major
Disney
characters.
goes out of business.
Disney
Because
will
eventually
not
it will.
Disney's not gonna go
No
out of business.
company lasts forever.
Except for
Never in the
Disney.
history of
Except for
humanity
Disney.
has any company ever lasted
So
forever.
they
I think-
own a part of like everything.
Disney.
Okay, so did Rome
they-
for a while.
I think Disney will always live on in some form. I don't know if they won't stay as big as they are.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
There will always be a Disneyland, and they will always make children's
Well, as
movies
long as they are
because there will always be a demand for those things in
Yeah.
some form.
As
or
long as
another.
they're the only company making movies, then they'll be in business.
I don't know if they'll do Marvel and Star Wars and Avatar all
There's-
that forever.
The thing
Yeah.
with Disney is they
But there will always
have,
be Disney
They
stuff.
always have nostalgia to make the big bucks. Like all the people now, like the old Disney cartoon.
Yeah, but what about
And they own real estate, and they
And
own
they
Times
own
Square, so
Yeah.
they always have that.
They always have Times
They
Square.
also make our textbooks.
And
they also
Yep.
own
Yep.
everything else.
Discovery?
They own you.
They own part of GoPro for some reason. Why? I don't
As
know.
long as they have the ability
diversification.
to lobby Congress, they will be indestructible.
And as long as Congress doesn't get overthrown in the next few decades.
I'm sure that won't
It
happen.
won't. It's been
Anyway,
in existence for
but
like
at
hundreds of
D23,
years.
which is the first week of September, I say Marvel Halloween special, confirmation and release date and trailer.
Yes.
Maybe a Shang-Chi title or something. Deadpool, I don't know what the plan is with Deadpool 3.
I don't think there's ever been really a plan with Deadpool. I think they just make one and it's
But
fine.
like,
I think they just get Ryan Reynolds on set and then film him
And they
for
just
a
do
few
stuff.
hours.
so
And then they just use that.
we know it's in the MCU. It's got a director. They have a script.
Ryan Reynolds will be in it.
They're going into pre-production, but like, there's no open slots on the calendar until 2025.
It'll come out during.
I think it'll
holiday
just
time.
show up. Yeah.
We'll just stick it in there.
I think it might cannibalize. It might even cannibalize.
Honestly,
something else. I think it'll just show up.
I feel like Kevin Feige won't even like work it in. I feel like
Yeah, I feel like it'll just be its own thing. It is now
always been its
officially
own
in the MCU, but it'll just
which
be
is
it's
fine
so
because
different.
that's what I would
Yeah.
prefer it be. It's just
a
if
thing
it's
that's
not
out there.
rated R, I don't care.
Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, and then we have projects not mentioned. We brought
We
these up
already did
earlier, but we can recap real quick.
No, we can't. We're
No,
done.
Let's just
All
end it,
right.
please.
That okay.
Okay,
so
fine.
that is the end of this part of the episode. That was all of our thoughts on the Marvel Studios panels and announcements. And when in the time of you're watching this,
Big Marvel.
there will either be a second part of this podcast about everything else from San Diego Comic-Con 2022.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this right when it comes out, you'll have to wait a couple of days. But for us, we're going to take a quick break and then come back so that we're not all brain dead or Patrick's not asleep when we start the next part.
Yep.
So
See you
bye-bye for
guys
now.
in a couple days or minutes, depending on when this comes out.
Yes.